Attention. Welcome to the Different Spectrums podcast. We dive into the wild world of mental health discussions. Get ready for profound talks, a sprinkle of humor and sarcasm, and a touch of colorful language. Just a quick heads up, our show reflects our individual opinions, which may not align with the standpoint of the podcast, our featured guests, or any related corporate entities. Our mission? To illuminate through laughter and satire because everyone needs a good chuckle. Chill out and don't stress over the small stuff. Legal troubles? No, thank you. Cancel culture? Please spare us. We'd rather keep this space lawsuit free. So buckle up, have a good time, and join us as we navigate the vibrant realm of mental health on the Different Spectrums podcast. Hey everybody, we back again.
Hey, we're back and one line.
I'm Spencer, your co-host, and of course we have our licensed clinical therapist, Nas.
Yeah, Dr. Nas. And I'm not slim, thick Nas now. I'm slimming down and getting thick and curvy. Coke bottle.
You went from really thick to thick.
Went to really thick to one of my girlies was like, "What size chest are you?" I was like 54. She's like, "That's some big ass titties." I was like, "Damn."
Yep. One thing you know when you get him as a therapist,
he got a chest.
Big titties.
He's chested. Fully breasted. That a bulletproof vest? Nope, that's just chest. Okay, let's do the pod.
Anywho, hey, remember, don't take us too seriously.
Or do. That's completely up to you.
There you go. Also, don't forget to rub those likes for us. We'd really appreciate it. So, today, double trouble, as they like to call it. Two guests we've had on before, really enjoyed them. So we're like, why don't you both come back? And then, it turns out they're friends. So it's like, why not have both of you on at the same time? So it's like, hey, welcome back. We have Dr. Back, Dr. Lena Haji. Welcome both of you back. Thank you for coming on again. We do appreciate you, especially we know both of you have very, very tight schedules. So really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah. We'll sit in this awkwardness. We're stoked. There you go.
Yeah, I was stoked. Here we go. Let's just.
I'm super excited. Me and Spencer were trying to figure out how long would this be, because it was 3 hours with Mac and then 3 hours or 5 hours with Lena. How long is this going to be? Should I clear my schedule? Should I get
Probably gonna be our shortest podcast.
A juice pack? Do I do in a juice box?
It will actually take the whole year, really. We'll just skip all of 2026.
Oh my gosh.
You know what? Up for it.
I'm gonna need some weed for this.
Legal.
Not in Indiana.
No, never mind.
Nope.
Just got yourself in trouble. So today we are going to be doing the hit show Unknown Number, which follows some people in a small town that get these random text messages from somebody and then become harassing, stalking, and find out who it is. Obviously, if you just saw the clip, you know who it is. It's the mom. It's always the mom. Why is it always? And so it just for the topics that we really want to touch today, we're going to be talking about the mom. We're going to be talking about cluster B. What the hell is that? What is that? And then we're going to be talking about psychopathy. We're going to be talking about boundaries, gender roles, how a town by just texting was destroyed in Michigan. The power of these texts with words, really? Words, Pen's mightier than the sword.
That was good.
Thank you. I made that up.
You did.
But yeah, we're gonna be talking about a bunch of things centered around this show and how Michigan apparently is trash. That's all I got from this. That's what I got. But hey, you come to your own conclusions. Not gonna lie to you, there's this one dude I follow who actually tries to trap pedophiles and stuff, and he works mainly in Michigan, and he's great. He's great though. I'm forgetting his name right now. I'll think of it later. But still, like, it just kind of goes to show Michigan. What are you gonna do, right? State. Nas, any other people are getting to the show?
Holy shit. Oh, the God, we don't get too famous. You go in Michigan, you about to get shot.
I was gonna say, how does Minnesota feel about Michigan?
I don't.
Yeah, we're indifferent. We don't care. We don't care about Michigan.
Feels a little bit harsher than indifferent.
Well, I'm just going by the proof you gave me.
Sexual encounter is more gentle than that.
Going by what you give me here.
Okay.
You know?
I'm not gonna lie. When I saw the 989 number, I was like, what's going on here? Because that's
shit. I know that dude.
That's Salim's area code right now, Spence. Like, that's how real it is. That's legit the area code. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited to talk about some of these topics. I have no idea on how long this pod's going to last. We're going to let it rip. In case we have to deliver it in a 2-part series like we did last time with Dr. Lena, then we'll do that. You all will see the scenes after this, and we're going to talk about a lot of interesting things. Soon there's going to be a lot of jokes, a lot of shit talking. Soon there's going to be a fun one. I know we've had some very intellectual ones, and rightfully so. Met some fantastic people so far in the beginning of the year. And this will be fantastic and intellectual too. But I was
going to say you got the worst people.
There's going to be some shit talking. There's going to be some shit talking. This is also fantastic for us to redo. I like how we put the Dahmer glasses on. Because when we had Dr. Mac on, as all of you know, like, it was just a Frankenstein of Frankenstein episodes on Gen V. And so I know none of it made sense. But I did my best to make sure her voice was heard.
Redemption.
And her just laughing at just nonsense. She was just laughing at her statements because my whole part was edited out. So
no,
great time.
Look like she's crazy.
He's fucking psychotic. Bitch, you seeing puppets?
That's why I want to talk about it. We have that in common.
There you go. Oh my God. So excited to dig into this. I assume you guys will give us an intro in the next part of like what the hell is going on, as me and Spence have not fully been immersed into this. I just know the memes, just the memes. Immersed. Yeah, we ain't,
we haven't watched the show, folks. Sorry,
delving into the waters of this. So let's do it. Whoop whoop.
Whoop whoop.
Okay.
No, both of y'all been on the show.
You have to say whoop whoop. I literally just said this in post.
Whoop whoop.
There it is. She's like, you motherfuckers.
You broke my concentration, asshole. I want to see Dr. get hood on us.
He's dead set on psychopathy, okay? Laser focus.
Motherfuckers, I'm talking.
Do you know the shit I've been through? All right, let's do it. That was it. Now we do the cutscene, and then you guys can talk.
Okay.
We're almost there. She's ready to go. She's all powdered up.
I'm fucking powdered up.
Why don't get angry at us?
You shouldn't have done that.
And then I found one phone number that kept coming up, being connected to that IP address at the time these messages were sent. And the phone number was Lauren's mom, Kendra. I really didn't know what to say.
Brad got back a hold of me and said, the only phone number on all these pages out of everybody you've sent me that matches is Kendra's phone number.
Your phone on you?
Yeah.
Here's the search warrant. Do you have any other devices you use? Do you have a laptop?
My computer is outside.
Where is it at?
On the back porch.
So this is the deal. When we were doing the investigation and the FBI got involved, we come up with some stuff that comes back to you.
What do you mean?
The message is coming and originating from you.
No.
Every message that went to the kids, your number come back through Pingree or whatever it is, the app that's tried to hide it. Your number, even though it was being hid, showed up every single message.
My number?
Yep. Does it have to do with Owen? Is there an infatuation there with Owen?
No, nothing like that.
Okay, then just tell me what did he treat Lauren bad? I mean, something serious, because it went on for a while, right?
Yeah, and it didn't start that way.
And I'm sure it didn't.
I don't even know.
That's okay, just start from the beginning. So they were dating, and then they broke up. So how did it really start? Like, why did it start did it start during, when they were still dating?
It did.
Was he treating you bad?
But it didn't, the first ones didn't start, like, with me.
Okay.
I will say that. Those ones were, like, random or whatever.
So somebody else started those, you don't know?
But then I, like, fed off of it some.
Her confession isn't an over-the-top admission. She more or less is tacitly admitting that she did it by not denying it, but it wasn't a, clear admission of guilt.
Does Lauren know anything about it?
No.
All right.
I really don't want her to.
Not sure that's going to be something we can solve, right? Because I have to let Jill know and those guys. There's others that are going to want to know because their daughter, like the Wilsons, has been accused of all this throughout. And it's a bad deal. I get it.
Once this is out there, like, I don't know how she can go to school.
I know.
Do you have any other electronic devices you use?
No.
Do you want me to go out and talk to Lauren?
Can we just bring her in and talk to her?
Yeah. Miss Lauren, can you come in?
10:30, good.
How are you doing today? Good. Your mom comes back out. We're going to chat for a few minutes, okay? All right, Miss Lauren, so I'm just going to start the conversation. You guys have been under a lot of stress lately, some moves going on, some financial issues and everything else going on. Mom got wrapped up into some stuff, and she didn't start it, but continued it. So we found some evidence, and we have a search warrant. We're going to take her phone and stuff. Sometimes when we're not thinking straight, we do some things that aren't right. Your mom doesn't want this to get out, but it is some public information, so it's not going to not get out. I just want to be honest about it, all right? She said you had no idea what was going on, and I believe that. What has to happen now is I have to make sure you and your mom are safe before I leave. So I'd like you to call your dad, so maybe he can come home and meet with us, okay?
22 Central. Go ahead, D22.
Hey, Sean?
Yeah.
Hi, this is Sheriff Mike Main. I'm with Lauren and Kendra.
Oh, hey, what's going on?
Hey, do you have a minute to chat where you're available in someplace quiet?
Yeah.
I get this crazy phone call while I'm at work, and it's the sheriff saying that they figured it out. I'm like, sweet, finally this is gonna be over with. He's like, I'm sorry, I gotta tell you this. I'm like, what? I wanna know who it is. He's like, unfortunately, it's your wife. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what to say to him, because I'm in shock, I'm just, she's the one doing this for the year and a half, the text messaging. And he's like, are you still there? And I'm like, are you for real? I said, this is my fucking wife doing this? So I come flying home. The sheriff is standing on the front porch.
So this is the deal. Every time the kids received a message, her number came back. So that was enough for a search warrant, and that's why we're here today. So we took her phone and her computer. As my detective was collecting that, I started talking to her. I said, it's over with, it's done.
May I ask you, what phone did you take?
She had it in her pocket, I can show you. So,
She got a couple.
okay, well, I have a search warrant for all of them, so I'd like to get all of them.
Should she go to jail?
Well, and so this is the deal. Felony stalking, that's what the charge is. So I knew there was a lot of things going on.
Yeah.
Yep, I know she was like going from Ferris, and she had IT backgrounds.
It's like she's doing all the text messaging. She lost, both of her jobs, and she hasn't had a job in over a year. She hasn't had a job for over a year. You just said she got let go.
That's
Tell me she quit.
I was told by somebody I know over there that she was let go. She was no longer employed. So I think there's more to that story too.
Sean looked like a broken person. He was trying to process what I had just told him and understand this whole ordeal and how this could be. There was a lot more to unpack than just what was going on with Lauren.
But we do want to go in and ask her about this other phone, so I appreciate that. Like, and those devices need to be away from her.
Hey, what's going on? I don't even know what to do.
Yeah. Hey, Kendra, so I want to be real clear here. Like, do you have any other devices? Because apparently there's another phone somewhere. So where's that at? You got to tell me, right? You've already confessed to it. You've got to tell me where it's at.
I don't want to rip this house apart, but I will.
Okay, and that search warrant right there gives us the authority to flip it upside down and have no will to destroy this house, but I will.
It's outside.
Outside where?
On the side.
That house where you try to walk away from us? Okay.
I'll go grab the other copy. Just unlock it.
So what happened with Ferris? Tell me the truth.
It's time to get it off your shoulders.
If I go and ask it when they leave, I'll probably go to jail. So tell me now.
I got let go from it.
Yeah. What about the Texas job? You still have that, or you got terminated from that?
I don't have that.
You don't have that either?
No.
So when did you get let go from that?
A while ago.
Are you fucking telling me the truth, or you're lying?
Always.
When did you get let go from there?
Same time.
So you've been lying to me for like 6 months, a year, you haven't been working for Texas?
Right.
Okay, you need to go somewhere tonight. I don't know where you gotta go, but she's gotta go. You need to call your parents. Have them come to you. Because this is it. I can't do this anymore. The other house, this house, now I know what the truth is. And having her in the middle, this is not good. Okay, you need to call your parents. Here's my phone. You need to go. You need to call your parents. No. Well, he's here. No. You need to go. You gotta go. Okay, I'll call him. No, I can't do this, Kendra. I'm sorry.
I can't leave her.
Well, are you done?
No. I can't.
Okay, they're getting their stuff around and they're gonna head north.
All right.
They're in water first, so.
I don't want to go with them.
Well, your dad and mom's on their way. So I told her I'd talk to them face to face. I don't want.
I need to stay with her.
We gotta get some time apart.
I think that's probably
I do something stupid or you do something stupid, we're both in trouble and then she's gonna go away. Okay? We gotta work through this. We just gotta be separated for a little while.
Hey everyone, before we get into the show, please check out our collaborator, Bubs Naturals. They sell a variety of health and wellness products, including collagen peptides, MCT oil powder, coffee, apple cider vinegar gummies, and other amazing products. Go to bubsnaturals.com and use our code DSP20 to get 20% off your entire order. And with that, let's get into the show.
And we're back again.
We're live. We're live.
Yeah.
I'm blank on jokes. I don't. We're live.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Son of a bitch. There's the joke. Punchline. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. So, let's just, hey, let's get right into it. We'll get the summary first, and then we'll go into we'll talk a little bit with y'all, about you and like how'd y'all meet, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, Dr. Lena Haji, you want to give us a summary of what is Unknown Number?
What it is?
What's it all about?
What it is?
Okay, so Unknown Number, The High School Catfish is a documentary on Netflix that almost everybody saw.
Except for us.
except for you guys, apparently.
Okay.
So it tells the story of this American teenager who I think around October 2020 starts to get these odd, like bullying type text messages, from nowhere. And they start to gradually increase in like level of harassment and frequency and intensity. At some point, there's like some sexual type comments.
Okay.
It's like intense bullying, like emotionally charged, at one point even encouraging her to complete suicide, going at her, they're insulting, they're threatening, and even expressing like a kind of a sexual interest in her boyfriend. Now, these teenagers are young. They're like, I don't know, how old, Dr. Mack, like 14, 15, maybe 16 at the most, I would say.
Good age.
And it starts to really affect like the whole school community, the neighbors, the principal, like it's brought to the school's attention. Other parents are getting involved, and nobody can figure out who the perpetrator is until they do. And it is an absolute bombshell. And yeah, I think Dr. Mack and I, we do this once in a while. It's our way of bonding. We watch documentaries together from Texas and Miami, and we're just texting throughout. And I think we did it with this one, right, Mac? Where we were like, oh, and then we just turn into like pretend expert psychologists. So it's a mind-blowing true crime doc. That's what we're discussing.
There we go.
Love that summary. That's great.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. I mean, also like that also kind of goes into like what I'm just also flabbergasted with the officers, because it's also like a grown-ass woman texting sexually with underage people. It's
her own daughter. Oh, did we get to that yet? Did I just get? But yeah,
no, you're fine.
Own daughter.
Yeah. Which, like, in that sense, it's even like, okay, like it's really bad that she was even doing this in the first place, but then like you tack on like the sexual shit, especially with underage people, that really is fucked up, because like what is wrong? What is wrong with you? That's all you get to say is like, what is wrong with you? Yeah, holy shit. So like
it massively escalates too in terms of like the quantity. The quantity of the messages too. I think there were it was all day and night. Like I think there were thousands total within that 18-month period, but then even within a few months, hundreds of messages. So just like the time that the person is taking, and then yeah, people were falsely accused in the high school too, because small town, there's not many resources. I'm assuming they don't have a cyber person there. Clearly not even a cyber person known in the area to kind of pull in, even from the family. Basically, the boyfriend and then the girlfriend, daughter's family start teaming up to try to figure out who this is. And so then they start accusing other teens in the high school who their lives are kind of being ruined. I'm fully into the show Traitors right now. And so for anyone that watches that's into Traitors, it's basically like that, where you don't have a lot of evidence to go off of, so you're just going off vibes and fully leaning into it. Like, I think it's you because X, Y, and Z. And so there was also a lot of other collateral damage being inflicted, even on friends, on someone that was a bully but was falsely accused, a cousin of the boyfriend. I think it was a mess. You just have this police department that bless it, they're trying their best. They don't have any cyber resources at all. And you hear the principal in there too, and he's trying to help, trying to figure it out. No one can figure out who is sending these messages, because anytime the kids would get a new number too, they'd get messages from that number again.
Wow.
Crazy.
Justice for Ron, first of all. Gotta say that. Justice for Ron. I'm watching.
Traitors,
I love Traitors. Love that show. They treated Ron so bad. The comedian, treated him so bad on that show. And then Colton. Ugh. whatever. But yeah, this guy, and this also gets to point out a lot of things too, is that like if these things are happening like inside your town, like most likely you're not going to get a Netflix documentary on this, and so it's probably going to go like unsolved or anything like that because you don't have those resources to kind of pull in to even try to investigate or anything like that, or just you don't even have the knowledge of like what these things are to even like try to solve it. So
yeah,
well, I think at first, like I could be wrong, Mac, remind me, but I think at first they were like, it's just kids being kids.
Yeah.
And like the parents were like, yes and no, because like Mac said, they were like escalating and it really went from like, annoying to bullying to harassment to threatening to like encouraging suicide. It had like such a ripple effect that I think after a while, the cops were like, okay, we can't ignore this. This isn't just kids being kids. Like something's off.
There you go. My detective friend just hit me back. He said, yeah, she's from Mount Pleasant. So Mount Pleasant is where Central Michigan is at, which is only about 30 to 40 minutes away from my hometown. So it's out in the country of like Mount Pleasant, and it's like right around there, the county. There's not much out there. It's literally just corn. It's also kind of hit right in the middle of like native land. So a lot of that is all like native land right there. So there's not much out there. But hey, he's like, yep, it's all real. Shit was heinous. Shit was crazy. We all know about it. I'm like, I don't fucking know about it. He's like, everyone over here does. I was like, okay. So since maybe before we get further into things, let's do a pivot. How the fuck did y'all even meet each other? How did this even happen? I don't even know how we got to meet both of y'all. I'm pretty sure I was suggested to link with Dr. Mac first, but I don't remember who suggested that. And then maybe you suggested Dr. Lena, or then, okay, that's what it was. Okay, there we go. I'm like, how did this happen? I don't know why I'm holding these.
You feel very strongly about it. That's why.
I felt like Bernie Sanders he's always holding that pen.
Yeah. Bernie. I don't remember how I got brought up to you, but yes, I think then we talked, and then I think I suggested Lena for sure.
There we go. How the hell did y'all meet? Because y'all from different parts of the country.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I cold DM'd her. I think probably
okay. I do that all day.
I did. I slid in her DM.
Oh, look at
my
that.
Instagram wife, like 4 years ago, like 5 years ago,
almost
I think.
I think almost 5.
Yeah, for her to be on my podcast when it was active to talk about a lot of forensic psych things. At some point we have to redo that because now obviously we know each other better and we can like deep dive on psychopathy and stuff. But that's essentially how. And then I don't know, we probably just kept chatting back and forth, and I probably just brought her into the hellscape of documentaries, listening to way too many podcasts, etc.
No. My perspective is way better. So yeah, she cold DM'd me and I was like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna do any podcast. And then I was like, oh my God, she's like clinically intelligent as all hell. She's gorgeous. She's hysterical. And I was like, this poor girl has no idea that she has no choice now but to be my best friend. Like it was unwell. I was like, oh, I love her so much. So I don't know if she wanted me to remain in her life, but I was going to remain in her life, kind of like an unknown number catfish.
Like a herpes.
And then we finally met in person. There was a forensic conference in Austin, and I have a bunch of forensic psych friends that we kind of just go from forensic conference to forensic conference, and it happened to be close to Dr. Mac. So we made a point to meet up, all of us, and I was like, oh, she's even better in person. So now we have this unwell friendship where we watch all the same podcasts. I mean, we listen to all the same podcasts. We watch all the same true crime. We analyze it all day. And it's amazing. I mean, my therapist knows about Dr. Mac. Like, I'll be like, I'm in a bad place. And he's like, did you reach out to Dr. Mac? And I'm like, this is bullshit. Like, it's like that. Yeah, she has no idea what she got herself into. I feel bad for her.
And my friends ask how Lena's doing. It's mostly unwell. Where we differ though, which I think is healthy, is then other things that we're into. So Spencer, we're talking about Trader. She's not really into reality TV. Although side note, I think she would like perpetrators, but I'll leave that alone. But then she also has just a much more sophisticated appetite for international types of shows and movies and the depth of those characters. And meanwhile, I'm watching like Love After Lockup on Peacock, and that's where
After Lockup.
it is the bits of reality hell. Do not watch it.
Such a.
I'm out again, son. I'm out again.
You have to watch
that love on.
Would you say one episode we got to watch?
You have to watch at least like Love After Lockup. I mean, the reason I don't watch it is because I lived it for 20 years, not personally, but I saw my inmate patient living this life. Like it was my day to day. But McKenna worked in jails too, so she knows. But Love After Lockup is such a shithole show, like she said, that you do have to watch it at least a couple times. Like you're like, oh, the pathology is so good. It's so good.
All right, fair enough.
Okay.
Fair enough. Hey, just goes to show that, you know what? Sometimes cold DMing does work.
It does.
It does.
There we go. Shoot your shot. Okay?
Shoot your shot. You might miss, but that's okay.
It's okay. And if you miss, you just get this app and then you just send them messages from other phones.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
Change your identity. They won't know.
They won't know.
Unless they look into it.
Yeah. I present myself as some baddie and then I'll be like, what, do you want to go to a conference with me? Sure.
It's fucked up though, because you probably said like foot pictures of your own feet. They're like, God damn, she got some fucked up feet.
Is that LeBron's feet?
I've been running feet. Shit.
I've been running. Oh my God.
Listen, I have psoriasis on my feet, so if we're gonna have a competition, I'm gonna win.
Part of me is like, I just want to see pictures now.
Oh,
I don't even like feet. I'm just like, let me see them.
That's a lie. That's a damn lie you're telling.
I like to creep out some of my clients with not like that. Let me finish before you think anything.
Clarify that, please.
They're so innocent.
Please.
They're so innocent. So when we talk about relationships and them being neurodivergent and shit, you know, autistic and the nuances and dating and all that, and I'm like, oh, so did you guys hold hands, this and this, and it slowly escalates. I said, did you offer to lick the eyebrows? And they're like, why would I do that? That's what the good stuff is. One girl goes, there's critters in your eyebrows, though. And I was like, God damn it, you ruined my own story for me. I can't even be a pervert for my own clients.
To ruin your own kink.
You got got.
I got. She got me like 2 days ago. I was cracking up. She was like, that's gross. I was like, fuck you. So I say weird shit. Psoriasis.
Really?
Also, very common with a lot of autistic ADHD folks. Psoriasis. It comes up quite often. And often I am having them exchange fucking medications because sometimes it's extremely hard to like get the shit better. Psoriasis and what's the other one? Eczema. Yeah. Can be caused by like flare-ups for my kiddos when they're overly stressed and they just turn into like one big welt. I'm like, oh, that's nice.
Fun. Yeah.
All right.
Happens to us all.
There you go.
Yeah.
Let's ask some questions. After that fun talk about psoriasis, I can list the medications. Well, no.
Curious, like, who is like the person who would like call somebody out on some shit if something pops up in your, conversations or friend, like,
when
overall,
they're together. Like who's the aggressive one in the conversation?
Like, who's the one who's just like, hey,
shut up.
Gotta check you on that.
In our friendship?
Yeah. If you're out in public hanging out and like you're talking to someone and someone's acting stupid, acting wild, like which one of you, or does either one of you assert yourselves and be like, yeah, you need to calm the fuck down or chill out?
McKenna is the more level-headed, emotionally balanced one, if that's what you're asking.
Well, there you go.
I think what she means by that is I'll find very slick ways later because I've learned.
Oh, that's true.
My anger management, we can't just pop off on people in our 30s, but what we can do is find their email address and sign them up for some really annoying spam websites later. I got to get it out somehow.
Okay, this is true. I'm the impulsive, more labile one.
Yep.
But Dr. Mac is the more calculated, like, oh, we're going to get them. But
I
we're
could see
gonna
that.
get them in a better way.
I see
and
that.
I'm like, oh, she's so cool. Yeah.
Like if you're hanging out at a pub or a thing or a conference and someone's being inappropriate, derogatory, homophobic, whatever it is, sexist, then Dr. Lena, you will cut that shit off at the head.
I need the bail money. Like she has to have the bail money to bail me out. but
she's
going. But 6 months later, something's
get
gonna
him.
happen.
She'll get him. It's a him for sure. She'll get him. Okay.
Yeah, she'll get him.
Sometimes I'll still call people out. I think
I feel like you will.
We're both pretty direct, and even with the people that we know, we're both pretty direct. I mean, I'm from Mississippi. I don't know. I've been told I have Jersey energy. I don't really know what that means. I know that that's different from New York. I know that those vibes are different.
A little trashy.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Mississippi,
Long Island.
It's not how it used to be. I mean, yes, we can have some really layered comments where you don't know that we're getting you, but we're getting you. But also we can pop off on people too.
Okay.
I think that part's changing, you know?
Mississippi, there you go.
Yeah, I think we both will call out people, especially for something like that at a conference or something. And we'll hold each other accountable.
Yeah.
Obviously with roasting and humor. That's an important love language.
Who's more masculine in the energy? Because they're both real close. I know which one's the bottom?
I would say
the
same,
bottom?
but in different ways.
We're both switches.
All right,
Hey,
that feels normal.
hey,
Yep.
Dr. Mac.
Yep.
Yeah.
But which one is more
switching up
masculine? I feel like both of you are very masculine. The way you present, the way you talk, the way you show up, the way you advocate. Would you say one of you is more calm, reserved, more deemed feminine in some ways, or warmer, kinder? Because both of you are extremely kind as well too, and you have to be.
Oh, I think it's in different ways.
Yeah, it's
That's
different
hard.
ways. Like I can't, like when it comes to animals and psychotic patients, I want to bring them all home like puppies.
Yeah, my
but
baby.
McKenna also loves psychotic patients and puppies. So I don't know. But I have a lot more impulsive anger that she just takes because she knows it's going to blow over, which bless you for that.
Well, that took a lot of, I mean, that's not my natural state. We had to work to get, I still feel it. I just am not going to show my cards because to me that's, oh God, we're not doing that. Someone's going to have some power over me if we do that. That's not happening. But I still feel it internally myself. But you dress more femme. I don't know. Are we talking about aesthetics too?
You can do whatever you want. I'm trying to figure out how this works because you two.
We don't know.
We
We're
don't
just here.
know. We don't have a grasp on it, but it just does. Like I'll tell you this: she is the true crime podcast book recommender, and she has to this day never recommended anything that I didn't absolutely adore. And I'm like, how did she know that? How does she know that?
That's so much pressure, Dr. Mac. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
what if she
now she
doesn't
has
like what you send her? Is it over?
Well, now I'm like, oh, I mean, I kind of steered you wrong with his and hers, I think.
Oh yeah, okay, fine. His and hers, yeah. Because
Yeah.
I was being an international crime snob. I'm an elitist in that area. I will not.
The acting was not very good.
So
The
bad.
writing was also not that good. But the plot twist at the end was pretty.
It had potential.
It had potential. That's what it was. I fell in love with the potential. I should have known better. We've all done that with partners in our past, and here I am doing it with a TV show.
I did it. There you go. You do it with the offenders, or what did you call it? The love after jail or whatever? The love with the potential. Love with the potential.
The offenders. That's what they call it. The offenders.
They will throw
That's actually
hands on that show.
great.
They're using drugs on that show.
Hell
They
yeah.
are
Who doesn't?
bold. I have so much respect.
Marvel's
so
offenders.
Yeah. We talk shit and we do crimes. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah, no, it's
Marvel's offenders.
That's good.
Okay.
That's good.
So when it comes to, I hate that I'm saying this. Like love languages, like how do y'all match each other's vibe, or is it pretty much the same type of love language? Obviously, intellectual stimulation is like a thing, right? You
Do
both.
I need to clarify that we're not a couple? We're just friends.
I mean,
Oh
you
no,
know,
this is
I
very
mean,
couple.
we say we're
Y'all are
married
codependent, man. Y'all
Instagram-wise.
codependent.
Yeah.
We're
It's just a
little
long
codependent,
distance relationship, but
I
that's
mean,
Yeah.
we have met in person, and we are going to meet again in person.
He
soon.
said, "I need to clarify, we're not a couple."
Yeah.
just so you know,
I mean, yeah, we need to clarify that love language.
I mean, we ever talk
I
about
think you
tops and
just made the
bottoms right now.
sexual tension worse.
I know.
I
I'm
know.
like,
It's just like,
Girl,
hey,
I'm-
we're not doing that.
We don't have to. We're neurodivergent folks. I just want to pet you.
Love language. What's our love language?
Yeah, love.
I know what mine. Well, are
love,
we
not
sticking to the traditional ones? Outside of it, roasting is definitely a love language.
Okay. How do you guys
Absolutely
pebble each
roasting.
other?
And then there's that careful, if you really need to tell someone something like about themselves or whatever, there's a dance of, and you can probably relate to this, where we're gonna roast.
Yeah.
We're gonna tell you, okay, some hard things, but we're gonna use humor to do it, and then we're gonna change the subject real quick because it got a little too
okay,
intense.
so she's really good at that. She's so good at that because she knows that I can dish it out, but I can't take it. Like people who are really close to me in my life know that my hard rock image is bull. And so like she knows that she has to call me on stuff, but then reel it back. Yeah.
Got it.
I see you, man. I can see you.
The reason why I ask is like, you guys are so different. And sometimes I'll have a bunch of students, clients that have trouble making friends, and they'll be like, this person's too much of this, too sophisticated, too pretty. This one's too nerdy. This one's got a Spider-Man tattoo. I got no tattoos. I'm Christian as shit. And they're like, they can't be friends because there's too many differences. And like, this is like the odd couple type vibe where like it fits, but it shouldn't fit.
That's a good.
And so I'm trying to talk about friendship here and being funny and being like sexually weird, but friendship because
she's not into Marvel. She's not into comics.
She's into the offenders.
Yes.
Literally.
So yes, that's a good question. I think it's because there are a lot of deeper things that we can resonate with each other about in terms of life experiences. I think our values in a lot of ways line up. And then there are still the more superficial things in terms of podcasts or whatever. She'll suggest something to me that maybe I normally wouldn't give it a shot, or this is probably more likely, I'll try to push her and to listen to something that she may not normally do. Like I was just telling her to listen to Michelle Obama's new memoir, and she's got me more into fashion and style. I'm terrible. This is partly why I wear black. Like, there are different shades of black, but it's a lot less pressure to like match. I don't know what the silhouette is. I don't know what's going on. She's helped with that. And so I think it's that nice balance of I'm really not helping our just friend situation here, but it's this really nice balance between the things that we're similar in, but then we got enough that's different to make it spicy, make it interesting.
But I think Dr. Mack points out something which is huge, which is the value system. I think we both are deeply invested in social justice in a lot of the same, when it comes to racism, healthcare, education, and it sounds so corny and cliche, but we are both on the same page with all of that stuff. And of course, the fact that we're both clinical, clinical counseling, forensic, we're both psychologists, like, we have that empathy that's not going anywhere, even though we might be harsh with a lot of things or abrupt with a lot of things. We share that in common. Like, we can call people out different areas of life, but we mean well. I really believe that. To me is like a core. It's a core.
Mm-hmm.
Spence, I'm gonna kick it to you for some questions. We're gonna stay on the interview type stuff before we get to the show.
Yeah. Did y'all ever expect like y'all would be friends
like
going this long? This deeply? Friends.
Only friends.
Friends.
That's a webpage. Only friends.
Well, got a new website.
Only friends and the offenders.
Oh, Jesus. Great shows. Because, a lot of times, like with me and Nas, like people probably wouldn't have expected us to be friends and like, do this podcast and stuff like that. But then like once you actually start getting to know people and actually talk to them, you break it down and you're like, oh shit, this person's pretty cool. But like, is this a friendship to the end? Are y'all friends to the end right now? Like it
feels like
it seems like it. Seems like
yes. She has no choice. She's now locked in for life.
That's nice.
Yes. If we haven't heard from each other in a few days, we're assuming that the other person's going through something because we both, for different reasons, will just kind of disappear. But then anything after that, we're like, I will come over there.
Yeah.
Or you need to check in. Are you alive? Because we're long distance. I can't just like pop up over there in Miami. Also, I'll get skin cancer there. Like, I can't risk that. I'm not built for Miami weather. Like, that's not, we
You're
can't
not.
be doing that. So we
Are you
check.
the one with the umbrella? You're just like,
Yes, the
She
ginger
has
umbrella.
suggested
Yes.
that. That's how, yeah, she
Yes.
has.
Mm-hmm.
It's very porcelain
We have
skin.
texted each other, "Are you dead?" before, like
Yes.
verbatim. So yes, are you dead? And sometimes it's a dig because it's like, oh, you don't want to watch the 462 reels I sent you on IG. You must be dead.
You bitch.
Yeah.
I have not. I've been so busy this year. I have not responded to reels. Yeah, I'll go like
either.
I'll go like
bad.
4 months behind. Girl, I know I sent you some DMs and you didn't respond to them. I'm in Texas.
He was literally in your state,
Lena, do you
and
feel
you were
better
like,
now?
I need to get your phone number. I'm sliding into your numbers.
wait a minute now.
I need to get your phone number because
This ain't
next
even a
time I'm
DM.
in, you know.
You do.
She's
you
like,
do. I've been.
I need
That's
your
one
number.
of my
Not gonna respond to
resolutions.
him.
I'm there like twice a year now with my niece. And I was like, I wanted to introduce you, and then I respond to you. I'm like, nothing. And I look at my niece, this poor Hispanic girlie, poor Mexican girlie.
Oh,
like,
here
I'm
we
sorry.
go.
Well, I guess we're just gonna have to go sell drugs because I couldn't introduce you to this awesome like psychologist. So we might as well
Last
just.
time I did tell you to let me know, but then I don't know if we just didn't exchange numbers or what.
No, we did.
But yeah,
probably
we need
do
to.
that. We probably need to.
We
Do
need
that.
to do that.
I give him a Snapchat. I don't.
You still haven't like actually seen the message. I bet you're probably still like, oh shit.
Yeah, it's still there.
3 years ago.
It's fine. I know why it is. It's fine. She can only talk to so many Latinos in Texas. Right? Because if you talk to too many, you might be one of them. And then then she'd be a conspirator, and then it's a whole ICE related thing. So I get it. You're protecting yourself. I get it.
Listen, I am not getting a new car because my car gets profiled now and I get pulled over. And to me, I'm like, well, now I can't get a new car. Like, this is too fun
What's
for
your car?
me.
You got like an old school jalopy or something?
Yes.
It's not even that old. It's a 2016 Corolla. It's been beat to hell. I mean, it's in Texas. It's been hit so many times. I have a mom car without the kids. There's so much shit in there. You're going to be I leave my car unlocked, even in places where break-ins are common here, because I'm like, listen, if you're going to brave going in that car,
you're good.
Respect. Like,
Her
you probably
car
need
is not
more than I
that
do.
bad.
Oh, it's been worse since you've seen it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. But the problem is she's
not good at my car.
made it part of her identity. That's the problem.
It's part of her swag.
I mean,
is it like The Hangover when there's like was it The Hangover where like it was all homeless people having sex in it? Was that The Hangover?
No,
What
that was
movie
the
was
other
that?
guys.
Emotionally,
The other guys.
that's what it's like.
Emotionally.
Emotionally.
I don't need kids, Nas. I got emotional damage. Oh, valid.
Yeah, which is my car.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the friendship works, but did you guys expect it? Because most of my clients, they're like, they think that they're never going to have friends, and they would never take a chance and just DM someone, even though I try to get them to do that. So me and Spencer became friends by just playing fucking basketball. And if not for him laughing at my jokes and me just being extremely obscene and like screaming at people, which I don't know why he made friends with me, but he's like, you know what? I like your racism.
I like that he wants to go get tacos after.
You know,
like this is my kind of guy.
Like, I like fat
racist
people.
rant and then tacos. Like, come on.
I always tell my clients, make friends with fat people. We're always just going to eat. We're going to chill. We're really not going to bother you that much.
That's how I gained like 30 pounds in college.
He gained a lot of weight. All my friends gain weight with me. They all get really fat. I love it. Not so fat. So yeah, like, what gave you the cojones to fucking text her? And did you think it would lead into like an actual friendship, or this was just an exchange of ideas, podcast shit?
That is a good point, especially for like our clients or people listening. I think people might overthink it. To me, in my mind at the time, it was very goal directed or even if it wasn't to get me on the podcast and I'm just responding to someone's story on Instagram. That's all that I'm not even expecting them to respond to it. I'll just kind of respond to a meme in their story or something like that. In this case, it was purely because I needed someone that was a forensic psychologist to come on the podcast. And she didn't seem too unapproachable on her Instagram. I wasn't sure if she'd respond, and not out of anyone's fault or anything like that. It's just how often do people check their filtered messages, you know? So that was purely the only thing in my mind was, oh, I need someone to come on the podcast and talk about forensic psychology. We touch on all different topics, and then it just kind of evolved from there. I don't think that I personally necessarily expected it. And for me, I've had to talk about this with neurodivergent clients too, and other folks, that it's hard to make friends as an adult too, especially, I think. But for me, especially something I learned in grad school is, just like we can't expect a romantic partner to be everything, I don't think it's fair to expect our friends to be everything. So for example, some people are not as, it's just not natural for them to provide maybe emotional support, but logistically, like they'll give you a ride if you really need it somewhere, or they'll bring by groceries. They're there for a sense of humor or to like distract you. I think all those things are like valuable traits to have in friends. And so I think it's just a matter of knowing who to connect with over what, or who to go to for what type of support, and how you connect. That's just me though. So no, I was not expecting it to evolve like it did, and it did, and we descended into madness, and it was great.
Amazing. But also I think that's a life experience thing. You know, when I was 20, I would easily say I have 25 best friends. Now I have like 2.5. You know what I mean? Like, the older you get, the more you realize this is somebody I can go shopping with. This is not somebody I can tell my deep, dark secrets to. Yeah. This is somebody who I can confide in, but this is not somebody that I want to, you know, go out in public with. I don't know.
Damn.
Jesus.
Yeah, no, straight up. That's just not to sound cold, but like,
this guy's ugly as shit.
No,
I can't go outside.
Yeah.
They're not somebody
Am I the half?
Who's the half? Is it, if it's
Who's
not
the
her,
half?
is it because you don't
Coming
trust
out
him,
wrong.
or is it a little person?
Or are they mixed racially and you're just like, I can't.
I feel like it's a little person. It's fine if it's
Which
a little
one
person.
is it, Dr.
Or is it like a cousin, uncle type vibe? Brother, cousin. Oh my God.
No, but you know how you have some friends that they don't want to fucking go out to dinner. They just don't. That's not their jam. They don't want to do it. They don't want to get dressed. They don't want to come out to dinner.
That's the
But this
tism.
is still somebody that you can tell your most intimate secrets to. It's not because, you know, of like you got, that's going to get totally misconstrued. But you know what I mean? And you have some friends that you talk about true crime with, and some friends that you go to the gym with. But I don't think you realize that you have different friends for different lanes in your life until you're older, like what Dr. Mack was just talking about. I think when you're young, especially when you're trying to make friends, and if you are neurodivergent and you're in high school or you're in college and you're trying to make friends, it's hard. It's really hard because you have expectations. So when Dr. Max says, oh, I just kind of DM'd her, like, do you want to do this podcast? Because I needed a forensic psychologist. Like, I think that's genuinely all it was at the time. But then when we started talking, we were like, oh shit, like you're like, but you don't know that if you don't try, right?
Yeah.
Alan.
And then you don't feel as rejected because I wasn't putting an expectation on it of, oh, she's going to be my best friend. I don't know. It was more so, and even if she didn't respond, that had already happened. And also, it's not like that's plastered all over the internet. I'm the only one that knows. Like, if someone didn't respond or says no, most people for podcasts, and I don't know what your experiences are with leading this, I think most people are pretty open to coming on podcasts anyway. So for me, it was kind of easy. Like, that's a low stakes situation to initiate. I don't know what y'all think about that, but to me, that's like pretty low stakes, even if she hadn't responded.
They're open to coming on. They're not always open to booking or have the time to book or check their messages to book. Then the divergence kicks in. They're normally open. And the biggest thing is will they actually read their messages or will it be filtered out? That's the biggest issue.
It's
but
like
knowing that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but knowing that
You're right.
that could be the reason why, as opposed to it's something toward you personally that they're not responding to. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. You know, in this podcast, we like to talk about this thing called growth, right? I know it's not always the toughest thing. It's not always the best thing. You know, growth. Calm down now.
You know I was going to pervert
see you turning the wheels in your head, that little mouse going. Could do it. But like, how's your friendship help you grow as people? I mean, like, you know, y'all didn't grow up with one another, but at the same time, y'all are at a point in your lives where you could, honestly, not, you don't need to learn everything. You don't need to learn all the things in your life that you need to know that you did when you were younger. And so for y'all, like, how do y'all learn from one another while also making sure that, you're keeping true to like who you are as a person?
I think that's actually a really great question. And without trying to blow smoke up Mac's ass, I have learned so much from her from like just her modeling behavior. I'll give you an example. I am absolutely one of those people that if somebody leaves a bad comment or a bad DM in my IG, I want to commit homicide and I'm going to go at you with my thumbs. That's who I am.
You'll thumb them.
And I've learned from Dr. Mac that that's not the best way. It's not the best way. The block button is your friend. Why would you give somebody who you don't even know this much energy, who doesn't know you? I've learned those social media skills, and maybe it's because she's younger than me, from her. Because I will screenshot something and send it to her, and there'll be like red smoke coming out of my ears, and she'll just put like a laughing emoji and say something really hysterical, and then I'm fine. That's all. Like I literally learned that from her, and that's just you think that's a small life skill. It's a big life skill because we're all on social media all the time, right? Yeah. It's a big life skill. McKenna, I owe you for that.
I also get a lot of really gross DMs, so it's not a small thing to deal with.
I believe it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It doesn't happen over
so
here.
I can stay true to myself. I can still be the angry, I'm going to kill somebody person, but it's channeled better thanks to my friend.
Likewise. I think you were better at blocking people than I was, actually, because you had the awareness of, if I don't block them, I will be the next love after lockup person. So we gotta do, whereas me, I'm like, my illness is, please come troll me because I've been waiting for you and I will
this is a kink.
Troll you back. And yes, I will feed into that person's desire for attention, but you're also giving me attention. So it's the Spider-Man meme, and we'll just go all day. We'll go all day long. And that's where I get my anger out. It feels better for me to do it and more in line with my values that way than another way. But at the same time, sometimes it's not really worth it. And so there have been times, a lot of people just don't really, I think it's because I don't have that much of a following probably, but I don't get that many people messing with me. It makes me very sad. But when it has happened, I've messaged her, or like just other shit that's happened in my personal life. And she's very much like, nope, don't. It's not even worth it. And so if nothing else, we have a person that we can say the thoughts to them. And then we don't say it out loud to the other person. And there you go.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in avoidance. Love that.
So I want to make a quick comment, and then I'm going to dig further into Spencer's question. So you just navigate a very interesting thing with a lot of my autistic clients is they don't really see that the other person's like thing is actually like something that they hate dealing with and that you would actually like enjoy. So they get jealous. So like one person will be like, I got all these people hitting on me because of this, this, or this, or I get all this attention because of this, or I'm an athlete because of this. And the other person's like, no, I fucking hate this. And I can't be who I want to be. I can't act like I want to act. I'm being perceived all the time. And the other kid's like, I'm never being perceived. I never get any attention. No one knows who I am. And I should just, if I die, no one cares. Then the other person's like, I want to die because I'm getting too much attention and it's too much pressure. So it's interesting on how that I always try to get them to merge, to be grateful in some of the things they get, but then to dig for a little bit of the other. It's just crazy when you're a therapist and you see like the things. Cause like when you said, like, it's kind of sad, but I finally get some pervert in there. And I'm like, oh, look, I got one pervert. You've got...
no, I don't want the perverts. I want that clear. I want the trolls.
The trolls.
I want the trolls.
Okay, I thought you were going pervert wise. The trolls. No, I don't.
Neither of us
I don't like the trolls either. Those make me super angry.
Send them to me. I love it. It just,
I
bask in it.
I hate
Pause.
them. I hate them.
Yes.
Spencer posted something on our story yesterday. Spencer, did you see the DM from the guy?
No.
Don't insert yourself into a federal law enforcement operation, and this wouldn't have happened. That was the comment to us talking about the young man who was murdered in Minnesota.
I would have had to block.
So I was like, I feel like I want to respond and have some fun with this, but like I could screenshot that and tag you in and tell you to handle that later.
That's what other people do.
Because this person needs to be embarrassed. Yeah, this person needs to be embarrassed. I was going to talk to Spencer about this later. And of course, there's like some curmudgeon white guy. I was like, that makes sense.
White people hate them.
The worst. So like going back to Spencer's thing, how do adults grow in relationships? So I think that's what he's trying to get at. Like, how do you guys grow as friends, but how do you grow from other ones? Because people are like, I don't need to grow anymore. I'm already a professional. Or I'm already like this. Like, I'm still fucking growing daily, kid. I'm like growing all the time. Becoming much more
do you
softer.
not agree?
Or maybe you don't agree.
Like, hey,
maybe you're done.
Maybe you're like, hey, I've done all I can do. I'm good.
No, I think I have a ton of growing to do, and I always feel like I'm behind, if I'm honest. If I'm being truly vulnerable, I am like, gosh, I'm this age and I should be here. I do that to myself way too much. I should be here. But I've done that my whole life. At 17, I thought I was too old. At 21, I thought I was too old. At 25, at 30, I thought that's just been my mind frame. So I'm always like, gosh, I should be here at this age, and I'm not. That's the way me personally. That's how I roll.
What do you think there's like, why do you think that you think that way?
Well, if we want to go Freudian, there's dad.
No, for real. We've been doing a lot of mental health talks with all of our guests now and like digging into things. If you want to share some things, that'd be awesome.
If not, I mean,
I think people think you guys are widely successful.
My father was in Mensa. He spoke 9 languages. He graduated high school at 14. He graduated college at 19. He went to, Cambridge University, London School of Economics. He stopped talking to me because I didn't go to an Ivy League school. I can do the whole thing, right? Okay. So there's that. But it's a lot of it, you get to a certain age and you're like, okay, enough with the like, oh, I blame my parents. My father also was amazing in a lot of ways, but I think at somewhere down the line, I started doing it to myself of like, I'm not here financially. I'm not here education wise. I'm not here career wise. I'm not here friend wise. I'm not here relationship wise. And it comes so natural to me to feel like to tell myself I'm behind. So maybe it's like being comfortable in the uncomfortable. Like I'm used to that. I'm also scared that I'll stop growing. Like you talked about, some people say like, this is it. I have, like, for example, I have the condo, I have the car, I have the career, I have the doctorate, I have like, I'm good. I don't ever want to get to that place. I just don't.
So you neg yourself to keep going?
Yeah, I'm harsh to myself to keep going. Yeah. Anger fuels me. Anger and self-loathing fuel me, if I'm being honest.
Anger's similar for both of us, I think.
Yeah.
I think first of all, our field is like constantly evolving. If anyone thinks that they've reached some peak of knowledge, you can still be an expert and not know everything. I mean, that's impossible. We're still understanding a lot of things in our field. I mean, isn't that why we go into it? Because it's not boring, that there are just a limited number of answers that could be possible. I mean, that's why so many people say, oh, I love my psychology 101 class, but they're not committed enough to go through with it and go into all the debt that we do. But it's because there's so much more to learn. So I think professionally, we will ask each other a lot of curious questions. I think that's actually one of the things that we get out of true crime documentaries. Like we recently watched the Elizabeth Smart one, which I also recommend. I did not know or did not remember all the details. Like that perpetrator, much more complex than I realized. And so the true crime thing is not just a friendship, we can bond over this. It stretches us to think and like be challenged. We're not stuck in the silos that we're in. I think it's really important for anyone in healthcare, mental health care. You are in whatever institution or setting that you're in, and you just are so bogged down oftentimes or isolated or in your bubble that you'd really have to go out of your way to seek out continuing education trainings or learn about other stuff. And so I think that that's the other thing that's really cool about social media and being anyone that's in science, healthcare, whatever, is you can learn from what other people post or the conversations that you have. So I think professionally, that's also been a gift. For on the growth side, for me, it's pacing this year, which is not my that yeah, she's giving me the look. It's not my strong suit. I have, I don't know, like legitimately 9 or 10 chronic health issues, but there's humor attached to it. If there is some higher being, it's very much like, yes, we're going to give you this extra chronic health thing, but we're either going to add like a funny element to it or it's not going to be as severe as everyone else's. And so there still is this push, and especially if you have ADHD like me, there's the restlessness that comes with it. There's the drive to keep pushing and be more successful, like Lena described. And so I think those are we're constantly overworking and we have to call each other on it. We work way too many hours. But for me personally, that's also what I'm working on. And my own relationship to activism, I have so many health issues right now that I'm in a weird spot. I'm so fatigued that it takes a lot for me to actually feel angry when for such a long time was my resting stage. And it's a lot easier to be an activist when you're angry. Like you already have the energy physically, emotionally to do that. And so trying to like reconnect with advocacy when you like physically cannot feel the anger as much, that has really been over the last year, and why I haven't been as visible on social media is trying to figure
I
out,
wondered why.
recalibrate it is, yeah, I mean, a shit ton of health issues, which I mean, I've had health issues, but it's the ones that I have. And then in that piece of, thankfully, there are so many more voices, and some people are angry for the first time, which is great. They also, because of that, make the same mistakes that Lena and I did when we were younger, and they're being really impulsive and not thinking it through. So now I'm like, I'm usually the spicy one, but other people are really spicy, which is great. So now I'm like, okay, where do I fit in, not only with my own relationship with anger, but to try to model that maybe in some way. So that's on my side of things. But to summarize the friendship piece, yeah, personally and professionally, I think we both stretch each other. Yeah.
Do you think that you can have that level of activism without the anger? And I know that you're speaking on like yourself and like how you feel about it and stuff like that. But do you think you can actually have that that activism piece, but without the anger? I don't think I think you have to have some level of anger when you're doing it, especially seeing how things are fucked up, and you have to kind of lean into that. But like you said, that can also get you kind of in trouble because you don't think about it, you just go. And that's where a lot of people get messed up, is because they don't. And that goes with everything in life too. It's like you just use one emotion to drive everything else, instead of maybe like using it but thinking about it also and saying, how can I strategically use my anger in these spots?
It's such a good question. And yes, anger is such an empowering emotion. I do think a lot of people in our field are uncomfortable with anger and they do not work through that on their own. And that's another thing that Lena and I agree on. We're more than willing to be the problem children in places that we're at because we love anger. We love connecting with anger. I do think that it can be helpful, to your point. It can cause problems and it's not sustainable. And I'm learning that. I mean, I was angry first. So what do you hang on to when the anger is not there, but that's still a value of yours? And so listen, I'm not preaching from a place of experience. I'm just preaching from what I've been told. If we look at people, this is where I think it's helpful to look at previous movements. I think that's the other thing that a lot of younger people are missing is, love you and everything that you're doing. We're not the first people to do this type of work. We're not the first people to drive a social movement. And so I think looking at people in the past, like Bell Hooks, all about love, like love driving these really important like advocacy pieces. And so, yes, I think there has to be something sustainable, especially because a lot of the change is going to require the long con. It's a chess game and not checkers. And when you're really angry, that's great for like short bursts. It will push through the fatigue you're feeling or whatever. You still need to have a long-term vision and be able to sustain that through all the obstacles that are going to get there. And I think that's where people can learn a bit more, and myself included.
Yeah, I agree. And sorry, I'm eating almonds.
You're good.
I think if you look at like the very well-known greats, and again, not to sound like a cliche, but if you look at like Gandhi, Martin Luther King, even Malcolm X, they weren't, if they were angry, it was channeled correctly. I think anger, I'm very lucky that my parents worked at the United Nations. So I was raised going to protest. I grew up in New York City. I raised going to protest. My mother, who's white as hell, marched with the Black Panthers. At 10 years old, I had to go see Jesse Jackson talk at St. Patrick's Cathedral. Like that was just normalized for me. And I didn't realize how lucky I was till now in life that my parents were just like social justice, social justice, social justice, care about the underprivileged, care about the, I would not finish the food on my plate, and my parents would be like, their children starving in Africa and their children like it was so drilled in my head. But I think Dr. Mack has a good point where it's like anger, we're all angry right now. I think we're all angry, especially today.
Yes.
I think we're all angry today. I mean, I'm so scared of becoming desensitized because you're scrolling and you're like, oh, ice. And then you just scroll. Oh, cats. Oh, 90s hip hop. That's my feed. I don't want to be desensitized. We are. I mean, I digress, but how fast do we move on from school shootings? We just move on. Like school shooting, okay.
I've had clients that have been in those shootings. They don't move on. I've had actually many clients that have been in those school shootings in Parkland and other places. They don't move on, but we do. We as society do, but those kids don't. Yeah, they're fucked for a while.
And that's where maybe anger is good. I don't know. I don't really know the answer to that, but I think Dr. Mack nailed it when she said anger is not sustainable. Anger fueled me. I had somebody tell me in my first year of my doctorate when I withdrew from classes, oh, I've seen a lot of people withdrew from their doctorate. They never come back. You'll never be a doctor. Verbatim. My clinical director told me that. And let me tell you, for the next 2 years of class, that was the reason I went to class. To spite him. It was literally the reason I went to, I'll never become a doctor. Watch that. Hold my beer, watch this. But it's not sustainable. At some point I had to go to class for myself, not to spite a guy who never thought about me again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think like bring up like Malcolm X, and he uses anger and put it into not only his speeches, but also learning, right? He wanted to learn more and more and expand his mind than just what he knew, especially at the time when he was in jail. And so I think that when we look at these things, I think we also need to make sure that we're also learning and be literate into it. I think right now, I think we're very high on the list of illiteracy when it comes to America and reading. And that's also the problem, is that we're not reading these stories of past and like how we can use those in the future, as well as just knowing things, not just from what's on your phone, but what have people actually brought into this life from, before, not just somebody who's telling you like, oh yeah, this is what really happened. And you're like, maybe I need to go find out for myself. Maybe I need to see and read about these certain things instead of just getting it secondhand. And that's the thing about us is like, especially, younger generations, is that they are trying to get everything secondhand instead of like just trying to do things themselves. And then they're okay with it. And that's where we kind of get in trouble. But yeah.
Before we move on to like other things, Dr. Mack, kid, you good? You good?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm good.
You said a lot of like bad stuff. Like health wise, you scare me. Like, and I haven't seen you for a while. I'm like, are you good, kid?
It's
like,
no, it's an accumulation of things. It's an accumulation.
Autoimmune disorders, I would assume.
Yeah. It's not like we're not having serious life-threatening shit, or Lena would have been like, no, you're not going on the podcast.
Okay, I'm just making sure like you're not like dying. Like, I mean, when you're like, I'm tired, and I'm like, kid, like, it's fine. Like,
I don't think people are that lucky. I'm hanging out for a while, if nothing else, in spite. So no, we're good. It's an accumulation of things.
The reason why I bring this up is because a lot of my girlies, as we know, autoimmune disorders are 80% women. and they're neurodivergent, ADHD, autistic, whatever it is that I'm working with, and they're fucking tired, and they're chronically tired, chronically fatigued, chronically irritable.
She's not going to tell you, even if she is. That's the problem. She's going to get off this podcast and she's going to go make mac and cheese from scratch. And I'm going to be like, you're not going to know. You're not going to know. She's probably exhausted right now and you have no idea.
I guarantee it. So that's what I'm saying. So a lot of my girlies will keep pushing. There's no other choice though, right? Because you're supposed to do things. So you just have to keep going. And I tell them to take a break. They're like, there's no fucking break. And so I'm using you as a prime example to some of my other girlies. What is the kindness that you show yourself? I'm sure you know those things. But also, how do you deal with the chronic inflammation and fatigue? Because they're like, Nas, I don't want to live like this my whole life. And like, I don't lie to them. I'm like, homie, this is probably your life. And then they're like, well, I want to die. But if I tell them, hey, baby, everything will be okay, it's fine. Because that's what other therapists will do. They'll coddle them. I'm like, no, we have to work on some acceptance and making sure that we fight these fucking doctors to get the right medications because they won't fucking listen to you because you're a woman or a black woman or an autistic woman. They can't fucking speak. So then I have to go to the meetings with them. And I'm just like, it's tiring. So for you, as someone that is probably chronically tired, what would be your advice to a lot of my girlies listening today about autoimmune disorders and being high achieving and intelligent?
That's what I'm trying to get better about is talking about it more. What I didn't realize in my PhD, there was a lot of shit that was going on. In the midst of internship season, I think I was getting like 4 hours of sleep. I was working on my dissertation. We had a lot of like criminal legal stuff happening like in the program. I was working 5 different practicums. I was jumping around from like the cops to Title IX to other people, HR, like all this stuff. And I was doing all of that, getting like 3 or 4 hours of sleep. My partner was deployed at the time, and all that was going on. There's a lot of violence happening. And what I didn't realize at the time, I knew that I had to be a source of strength because I had been through worse. And that's something that implicitly I tell myself, this is not, I've been through worse. And I also probably have thicker skin than a lot of people. My parents are pretty left-leaning. I'm from Mississippi. I grew up in a really right-leaning state. So there are not a lot of things that people are going to say to me that are actually going to hurt my feelings, especially strangers and stuff like that. And there is kind of that grit. I think maybe that's probably what the South and kind of the northeastern states maybe have in common. There's a lot of grit there probably, but the fatigue in the last year has been beating my ass in a way that has been different. So I already was diagnosed a long time ago with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, POTS, MCAS, all the stuff that you see with like autistic, ADHD folks. But then we also have thyroid stuff. But all this is milder than what other people have. So there's this very weird relationship that I have with all of that because I have clients that have way worse versions of all those things. The ones that we've been trying to figure out are potentially Sjogren's and celiac. And so that's why I haven't been on social media. Like my eyes, I use a filter. You can't see how red they are and inflamed they are and dry all the time that they are. When you're on a screen all day. Yeah, like I telework. And so the eye strain on top of that. So that's been the hardest part. And so all that to say, I didn't realize in past experiences that people were looking up to me and thinking that I was totally fine.
And you're just
even when I was
killing it.
performing at my prime.
Yeah.
When they didn't see, all the hospital visits that I had to take or, the other ways that I was kind of breaking down and like not cleaning my house and like my apartment at the time. And it was sort of a hoarding situation, not true blue. I wasn't attached to the items, but that's the first thing that's going to go. And so I didn't see any of that because I could hide that really well. And so what I realized in terms of like trying to model that for other people, whether I like it or not, for all of us, people probably look up to us even on social media or respect us. And so I have to be more explicit, even though it feels very gross to me to do that and vulnerable. So what I've had to do is really set limits because the internal thing is not people pleasing. It's not, oh my God, this person's going to be mad at me, talking about masculine energy. It's this internalized kind of weakness. Like, no, you can handle this. It doesn't even get conscious enough to be like, oh, you're weak if you don't do this. It's, you can do this. And I think too, if you have ADHD, Lena's had to call me on this. Actually, she just called me on this a couple weeks ago. She's like, I love you. I think this is your ADHD talking, where you just there's some grandiosity there, not on purpose, but you think you can do more than you actually can. Like future you is going to be able to do that, or you can trust future you. And so I think pacing is important. I love that you brought up acceptance. If a lot of therapists, I think cognitive behavioral therapy can be helpful for chronic illness, but has to be very carefully used. I've told psychologists I can hide that I have health issues. So when they've talked about, especially like in the VA, I straight up said to them, listen, if I was your client, I'd punch you in the face. Like I'd be cussing you out too. Like you're not going to tell me to try. It's like with clients that are queer or Black. And I'm like, you got to be really careful if we're going to be challenging thoughts. I think acceptance is a much better approach. And so for me, I'm in a privileged space in terms of the money that I'm making now. And so I can outsource. And so I try to tell people like outsource where you can. The trying to pace, there's like the behavioral stuff, you know, that you can do, or resources or tools that you can use. And then I think there is the acceptance piece. And then I'm a huge fan of cognitive diffusion. So like I name my chronic pain Karen. And so we just create some
narratives,
emotional. Yeah, we create some narratives. And I think humor is really helpful. And I just say, listen, if I didn't have the skin sack, I would be a supervillain. So we should all be very thankful. So I try to use a lot of humor too. Yeah.
There you go.
So then, like, you know, I think I know the answer to this, but like, you know, hindsight's 2020. And so would you like, do you think like you felt like you should have talked a little bit more to people around you when like you were coming up about like some of the things that you're going through? Like, do you think that that was something like maybe I should have, like, now that you kind of look back on it, especially coming up from your career and what you're doing now, is that something you felt like, okay, I should do, or do you think like, you know what, the way everything happened was the way it happened, and that's fine with me? Like, what's your kind of thoughts on that?
On how much you masked? I think that's the question: is how much did you mask? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a good question. On the one hand, I was that person that most people usually go to as a strength of the most significant in my PhD program, where quite literally we had students, faculty arrested, and that was a whole thing. And I had the life and professional experiences working in corrections that I could see through a lot of this, and that there was a lot of privilege in there. I had really supportive family and partners. I wasn't from the state. Like I wasn't worried. And I had a full master's degree. There was a lot of privilege there. I don't really wish I could redo a lot of the actions, because I don't know how anyone could be through that and not be angry about what was going on. At the same time, that is one area where I wish that I could have been more vocal, not perhaps crying in front of people. People would have freaked out probably at the time. I don't know that people would have been able to hold that. But I think just trying to teach them, and then at some point before I left, because there were students obviously in cohorts below me, being able to share with them that no, this is not actually something that you should be striving toward. Maybe, I don't know, short term this can work, but as long as it was going, absolutely not. And so I hated that. I mean, it was like a real life version of social media where they just see this superficial thing. They're not seeing the hits that like I was taking personally, where, for example, I was working in the doctor's office on campus and in the clinic, and I'd do consultations with them leaning against the wall because I couldn't stand up. And there was a point where they could see like I was limping, and they were asking and they're trying to help, but I was taking that as like, nope, that's going to show vulnerability. We can't be doing that. That is one area where there's a lot of regret for me. And so now, I guess in a way to sort of atone for some of that, and just taking it over, as opposed to teaching people how to advocate or teaching people how to know, like, not everything is as it seems. I don't want to do that personally. That's my own baggage, but the value that I have toward other people and how much I admire and respect them, I don't want them to get an inaccurate picture, and to me that overrides it. So long story short, most of it, I don't know what I could have done differently, because there's not really a rule book, but I do wish that is one area where I wish I could have been more vocal about how things were actually impacting me. Yep. Yeah. I couldn't access it emotionally a lot anyway to really be able to communicate it. Yep. But even if I could, honestly, I wouldn't have.
All right. A lot of my girly spends now is just reaching out for help. So reaching out for help, normally from like me, I'm like, just fucking text me. It's not hard. And it just takes time. Or reach out to your friend or ask the advisor, use fucking Chat GPT. Like just use it. But it's all a sign of weakness. I'm glad I pushed some buttons with you because I knew this would directly impact like a lot of our followers and a lot of my clients. And I'll clip this and I'll have them watch it. Both of you are very autistic coded. You know that, right?
I think I'm more ADHD coded, but my dad is ADHD.
That's the version of I got a black friend. It's like
no. I swear
they're very coded. Well, they're very coded one way. The thoughts. I'm just around too much autism. So at this point in time, I'm like, tism.
Oh, shoot, tism.
Yeah, 100%. All right. Yeah, because Dr. Lena is more on the OCD, perfectionistic, high achieving, high stress, that's the way you came off today.
Really?
Yeah. High achieving, high stress, high pressure. I'm going to deal with it. Bright, shining star.
High pressure, yes.
Yes.
I've calmed down with that a lot ever since I stopped working in prisons. OCD, no. As you can see, like almonds.
No.
Pills.
Not OCD like that with the compulsion to do better, the compulsion to do more, and the self like deprecation mentally.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That compulsion and OCD to strive. And all of us have some version of some obsessive compulsive behavior when it comes to doctorates and PhDs. But you're not getting through this shit unless you have some ability to obsess.
No, 100%. I think it takes yeah, I agree. But for me, it's like, I'm glad that I'm not that person. In one way, I'm glad that I'm not that person that's like, I have the highest degree. I'm done.
Facts.
I'm going to get board certified now. And I failed my exams. I'm just putting that out there. And I'm not going to stop till I pass them. And only And only 4% of psychologists are board certified. Like, I don't really truly need this. I don't care. I want it. And I'm not going to stop till I get it.
What is board certified? I thought all you motherfuckers are board certified.
We're licensed. Board certification is an extra process to specialize in a particular American Board of Professional Psychology. So neuropsychologists, for example, to call yourself a neuropsychologist, you have to do a 2-year neuropsychology fellowship and then take exams. There's board certification in police and public safety and child psychology and forensic psychology. Yeah, it's a whole thing. You have to have a certain amount of training. You have to have a certain amount of hours. You have to have letters of recommendation. Then you have to take a written exam. Then you have to submit work samples, and then you have to do an oral exam. And everybody's like, you have your own practice. You don't need this. And I'm like, I don't care. I'm doing it. It's unwell. I don't care. I'm doing it.
Well, none of us are well. So.
No, we're not well.
I'm glad that you said you failed, because now I'm like, oh shit. If Dr. Lena can fail something, it's okay.
I failed by 0.7%.
Jesus.
Yeah.
It's that part. That's going to be more frustrating.
0.7%. That's wild.
0.7. So there's like 8 areas of expertise. I passed all of them with an over 90%. And then one area I failed by 0.7%. And I was like, and of course, you guys know, to retake it, there's the application fee, there's
all the fees,
oxygen fee, there's the there's the retesting fee. Like, really?
Did you feel like an immediate piece of shit though? Because I know most of my clients and me would have been like, oh, I'm the biggest fucking dumbass in the world. Like I should die.
I've never been a bad failure, honestly. I failed my licensure first time. P. I mean, it stings, of course. I'm human. It stings. It's disappointing. It's like, oh, what else can I possibly do? But I'm surprisingly, I'm not a bad failure.
You can take it and go.
Well, true. Gotta get up and do it again, I guess, for the however millionth time.
How do I help the kids and the girlies get some of that mindset? How do I help them be more growth mindset instead of like, I suck, I'm terrible mindset? What would be your advice to them listening? And then we can get into the movie. We'll do a cutscene, then we'll get into the movie after that. We're gonna separate these in two
That
pods.
sounds so corny and very Maha wellness influencer.
You can do it.
But
You can do
picking
it. Shut
yourself back up is so much better than passing the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think picking yourself back up after you fall is so much more significant, emotionally, lifelong than what is that? Jeez.
Got a phone call.
Sorry, guys.
Is it Nike?
Is it Nike? It's from our last guest.
That's an inside joke. Sorry.
Yeah, it's Nike. I can't even find that part in the episode. I'm sifting through it. I'm like, where is it?
Sorry, guys.
What'd she just say? She just screamed something.
You see
Okay.
We're having tech issues.
Yeah, I think people who get back up after falling down have so much more, not value, but again, it's so cliche, but picking yourself back up after falling down has more intrinsic value for yourself. Not look, I can do it again, but like, look at me.
I overcame.
Did it again. Yeah, I overcame. For me, I've fallen down so many times in life that when I look back and think, God, you picked yourself up through that. That's the stuff that really makes you feel good. And I know that sounds very wellness influencer-ish, but yeah, that's
okay. So to all my clients listening,
fall off a horse.
I need you to fail. So don't even try and study. Fail. Want to die and then don't.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the cure.
It is. So what did Joker say? Whatever doesn't kill you makes you more interesting. I always, yeah, he says it. Yeah. Makes you more interesting. It's one of the Jokers. I swear to God, it was Joker. Swear to God.
Right,
Spencer's the nerd. He's like, all right.
What do you say, buddy?
No, it was one of them.
I ain't never heard that saying before.
It might have been porn.
It's a good saying.
Very good.
You just saw the porn version. You're just like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna take that.
Hell yeah. God damn it. I often tell people you don't get, like, intelligence is awesome, but the wisdom you usually get through trauma. And I would say a lot of failures are very traumatic. And then you get the wisdom, you get the gravitas, you get that motivation. Then you get that really good basement to know that no matter what you do, you can always come back. Another thing in Batman is like, why do we fall? They ask him, right, Alfred, and he's like, we fall because we learn to get back up. That's the whole reason why you fall, is to learn to get back up. There's a lot of clients just
to make it any easier. It sucks. It sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It sucks bad. But and sometimes it's a process, sometimes it shows up in different ways. Sometimes it's like, fuck this. I don't care. I'm not doing it anymore. I don't care. I don't have anything to prove. F this, F that. It's like the 5 stages of grief, right? Denial, bargaining, whatever it is. And then, after a couple of days, you're like, all right, let me get on the website and reapply. I went through all of that.
So then for you then, Lena, is it like when you fail, does it fuel your anger more? And then that goes into like your confidence and just like, I'm gonna fucking kill this shit. Or does it go into something else emotionally?
I think it used to fuel my anger, but now it more, and I'd be lying if I said ego isn't involved. I mean, I'm human, and sometimes, it's ego, it's pride. And how come those two at that conference are board certified and I'm not? Yeah, I totally, I'm not going to lie about that. But it's also like, I genuinely enjoy challenges. I mean, we all do, or we wouldn't have made it this far. And like another thing that Dr. Mack pointed out that, we informally consult with each other, even though I'm forensic and she's more clinical counseling. And I find some of her clinical counseling stuff fascinating. Like, I don't ever want to think I know it all, because I've been there where it's like, this guy's malingering. Let me roll my eyes. I don't want to ever get there. So sometimes I'll text her stuff, even if it's not her area of expertise. I'll be like, hey, this guy's a sex offender and he's saying he's hearing voices, but like, I think he's full of shit. Like, and she'll give me insight that, is so awesome, but you have to. One of my mentors told me you can't work in a vacuum. I don't care how many licenses, how many board certifications you have. You cannot work in a vacuum. And sometimes I run stuff by McKenna and she texts me back stuff that I'm like, oh yeah, shit. So it's not just true crime stuff, like we do this in real life because it's literally helpful.
I know.
Like, I'll be like, do you think this is grandiose delusions, or do you think this is access to narcissism? And then she'll ask questions. Like, we'll go back and forth like that. And it gets you thinking. Even if she doesn't have the right answer, or I don't have the right answer, at least we're like, we do that a lot. I don't know about you, Matt, but it's super helpful for me.
So then do you think, like, if she wasn't on your level intelligently, like,
they wouldn't like each other?
You wouldn't like her.
No,
Would you like her?
This bitch
She
is
wasn't
dumb.
as smart as you?
Is she pretty enough for you? She's pretty enough for you, though. So you can still keep around as like your
You're
bimbo
like, girl,
friend.
you could be around.
Dr. Meg's
I want
dead.
to hear the answer to this.
Oh, no.
Wait, now I'm trying to think. No,
That's a
I think
yes.
it's because I think she's way smarter than me, actually.
Oh.
I think we're knowledgeable.
She passed her board certification.
Yeah, she's good.
I'm not okay, listen. She needs it more in forensic psych, not as much as neuro. It's like valued. There's no purpose to get a clinical board certification because that's what I already do. Like that's already that's literally a specialized area of psychology. Why am I going to spend like $600 to do that?
Because you hate yourself and you love the pain. We've already talked about this.
No, but
not enough to do that. Like, just I'm like, what would I be getting from that? Like, you get maybe a bonus if you work in some places, like a one-time bonus, but it's not.
If you're on,
it's not worth it. But I will say that yes, I agree on the falling and getting back up. I remember, like, I passed the EPPP the first time, and I was relieved after, but it didn't feel like the same feat that some other things where I really felt like, oh, this was fucked. And I had to overcome that in some way. It was like seeing in my master's program where you start shifting from just studying tests and all that stuff to actual clinical work. And I never had a 4.0. I didn't care enough about that because I knew what I wanted to do and it was clinical work. So I'm like, why do I care? But seeing the people that had 4.0s and were very perfectionistic, not naturally being good at clinical work and having to work at it, when I had already dealt with those feelings just on the other side, invaluable. And so I agree on that too. The getting, in terms of us being friends though, I don't know. I'm curious. I'm glad you guys asked that question.
I don't remember the question. What was the question? Oh, there you go.
If she was a dummy, would she still be friends with her?
Yeah.
Do you have hot friends that are dumb?
Yeah, Lena, do you?
I'm gonna be real. I've got no hot people around me, so
it's just like, oh,
they're just dumb. They're dumb and ugly.
Girl,
I have hot acquaintances that are dumb,
but
not friends. That was half.
You can see them.
They could be smart.
Associates. You can see our hot dumb friends on The Offenders coming out soon.
Oh my god, you're still pushing that. Jesus.
So yeah, she wouldn't be as close. Let's be real. It's the admiration that also brings you in, right? And your ability to connect with her in a bunch of different ways.
It's the mental challenge. It's the fact that she forces me to look at myself. She forces me to take accountability in a compassionate, empathic way without doing it like a shrink. It's the fact that we can relate on so much. It's the fact that we have common experiences. I didn't care about a 4.0. I never had a 4.0. At one point in college, I had a 1.7. Like, I didn't care, and then she brings up a good point. How many clinicians do I know that went to Harvard, Yale, have all the degrees, and they can't talk to another human being? And like Dr. Mack and I are, I think, insightful enough to understand that part. Yeah, I want to talk to patients all day. I want to talk to humans all day. I don't care about my stupid 4.0. I failed statistics twice. Like, I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, we get that, we get that. And kudos to people who have 4.0s and all the degrees and got to Ivy Leagues. Kudos to them. I'm not knocking them.
Couldn't be me.
I'm just saying, it couldn't be me either. I'm just saying I've seen both sides of it, that you can have all the degrees, but you don't know how to talk to this guy who's serving life. You don't know how to do it. And he doesn't trust you. And so he's not going to change because he thinks you're an idiot, no matter how many degrees you have.
I love that. That proves like everything I've been saying for so long about me. And now Spence and everyone else gets to hear it. Like, you got to be able to talk, and you got to have wisdom and knowledge and personable skills. And as long as you read some of this shit and and you passed your stuff and you don't have to have straight A's. That's why I keep trying to tell my clients, you don't have to fucking have straight A's.
And you don't have to do everything that you learn. I've gone to the juvenile detention center and spoken to kids about NBA playoffs for 45 minutes and why, the Knicks need to trade whoever they need to trade. Whatever. That's not in a manual. It's not CBT. It's not Gestalt. It's not existential therapy. It's not whatever. I don't care. The kid was able to talk to me about Air Force Ones for 45 minutes. That's enough for me. I got him to talk. Yay. You know what I mean? Like, I hate manualized. No, I don't hate manualized. I just hate that, you remember, Dr. Mack, when we were in our doctor, you had to pick an orientation and you had to stick to it. And I was CBT and cognitive behavioral therapy. And I see a value in all of that. I really do. And I'm glad that I learned it that way. But once you get into the real world, it's so different. And if you don't understand that, you're not going to be effective. Like, show me you give a fuck. That's 90% of the battle.
That's the problem with the VA. Naj, you're going to love this. Even ACT therapy is a very manualized therapy in the VA, which is very anti-ACT, ironically.
Yeah.
Where you have to do one session this, one session this. It's very rigid. All of those therapies are. And I'm like, that is ironic.
No, and ACT can be very effective. I actually like a lot of aspects of ACT, but it is ironic.
Fantastic conversation. Spence, let's do an outro scene, and then I'll release the next podcast like 3 days after this one.
Okay. Well, thank you both for coming on. We'll be right back with part 2. After this, I don't fucking know what I'm supposed to do here.
Just
happen.
We're trying to nudge
the
him.
next time on the Different Spectrum podcast. Just setting up like Dragon Ball Z. No? Okay.
Yeah, next time.
I love that.
Next time.
Stay tuned for all the movies and the shows. What are we doing again?
Next time on these dipshits.
The unknown number where a mom's catfishing her daughter. Love After Lockup.
Love After Lockup. Can you find it? We'll see. Is it love or is it drugs up someone's ass?
What does he find? I was going to say, you're trying to find.
Those aren't mutually exclusive.
Called the clitoris.
Look, hey, I'm going to be honest with you. If you love somebody, you'll probably stick drugs up your ass. Let's be honest. That's love.
That's beautiful.
Right there. That's unconditional, really. In my opinion.
A poem.
Yeah.
A poem.
It's a haiku, but
it's a haiku.
I tell you.
Yes,
haiku. Thank you.
Drugs up ass.
So, folks, a couple days. This will release Thursday, and then I'll probably release the next one probably Sunday. So this will release on the Thursday, and then I'll release the next one on the Sunday. That way you can watch it Sunday morning with your coffee.
Coffee.
I love coffee on Sunday morning.
Good coffee.
Yeah.
Good coffee.
Like in Boston.
All right. Stay tuned, you fuckers. That's it.
Jesus.
Hey, just want to let you know this will be a short intermission. Instead of releasing it in 2 episodes like we originally thought we were, I'm just going to push it through as 1 3-hour episode. So this will be time for you to take a break, go to the restroom, do what you need to do. But next will be the full discussion about everything in the show, the documentary, all the nuances, and you'll see both of our licensed psychologists talk it completely out and all the ins and outs about psychopathy and all the other things. So this will be the intermission. Just want to let you know there won't be 2 releases if you made it this far into the podcast, that everything will release on one day. So you're not missing out on anything. Have fun. Enjoy the show. I know we went really long, but we had 2 amazing guests and 2 of our favorite guests in the past. So hopefully you go check out their shows previously. One released in January of 25, and then the other one was previous before that in the fall of 24. With Dr. Mack, we got to talk about Generation V, which was fantastic. And then with Dr. Lena Haji, it was Silence of the Lambs. So if you want to go check them out and have some really good laughs and also learn a lot about us, a lot of things, then go check it out. See you guys on the other side. Excited about the podcast that we have releasing later on in the week. See ya. Peace.
And we're back again.
We're back. Fully loaded with butt drugs.
Yep.
Good time.
Yep.
Good time.
Yep. Butt drugs. Gotta love the butt drugs. Where are we going with this? So
let's get into the show.
What are we doing here? So like we said before, This part of the pod is going to be more focused on The Unknown Number, that great documentary, just showing how moms can be fucked up too. And we got a brief summary from Dr. Lena Haji. But what about this documentary? Because there's so many out there, especially true crimes and stuff like that. What made you want to pick this one in particular? Either one of you.
Well, yeah, Dr. Mack and I watch true crime documentaries as soon as they come out. We're unwell. We watch them sometimes together apart and text each other. I think, and Mac, feel free to join in, obviously. I think this one is so interesting because not because of the big reveal only that it was the mom doing this to her own daughter, but the kind of the why, the multi-layered pathology, I would say, that led to this, the multi-layered pathology that was displayed from, cluster B traits to psychopathy to this kind of weird codependent Munchausen feel. What do you think, Mac? Why do you think we chose this one?
I think that's why. It was not that big of a reveal to me. I clocked it early on. I think you actually watched this one before me, and I messaged you and I said, it's one of the parents.
Yeah.
It has to be one of the parents. And I think, yes, there's the gender bias piece in here. And the other piece too was the theorizing that we saw in the documentary, and then people speaking about on social media, and even psychologists, when there's a lot we don't know. There were a lot of assumptions being made just based on one documentary that frankly does not go that much into all of her history. It leaves us with probably more questions than answers, but I think it was twofold. It was that, oh, this is not as clear cut as I think a lot of these people are making it out to be. And number two, that people, again, think that they're all, I guess, profilers or something and are just assuming that they know the best. And so I think it's important to put out there that things are more complicated than they might seem, and also that we don't know everything. And so I think it's important that, especially if it's professionals out there, to kind of be cautious when you're putting information out there. So yeah, I think it was all those things for sure.
I agree, because when you pull back, you realize we don't know that much about mom. We know what she did. We know how she did it, but we don't know the typical, what were your developmental years, level of education, family dynamics, interpersonal relationships, friendships, substance abuse, past mental health history, all the stuff that we who would be doing a clinical interview would ask for. We don't have any of that stuff. And so, yeah, people were like kind of opining like, oh, she definitely is a sex offender and wanted the boyfriend. And we were like, I don't know if that's it. Me personally, I don't agree with that theory, but there were so many theories floating around social media where people are like, I have it figured out. And I think it's a good example of showing that, number one, things are never black and white in mental health, ever. Things are always gray. Even if somebody is clear cut, like a Jeffrey Dahmer or something, things are still always gray. And number two, you could be the smartest person on the planet. You still don't know it all. You don't. I mean, Mac and I went back hypothesizing about so many things just with this documentary. And like she said, we probably have more questions than answers.
So then what would you say you had the mom in front of you and you were interviewing her, talking to her? What are some things that you would want to know? What would you want to know from her? Get that information.
I would start with the basic clinical interview.
Okay.
Did your mother have a healthy birth? Any medical problems? Developmental history? How far did you go in school? What kind of student were you? Were you ever suspended or expelled? Any history of arson, cruelty to animals, bedwetting, difficulties with peers, bullying, sexual gender problems, substance abuse, mental health history? I mean, I would do the whole clinical interview shebang. And then if you're anything like me, I've always used kind of a semi-structured interview, but you always end up branching. I know Mac is a brancher.
You don't say.
Yeah, can you believe that?
Oh, crazy bitch.
But she knows when and where to branch. I mean, I've never seen her practice, but I can tell because we're friends now, and she's so clinically savvy that I can tell that she knows when and where to branch. So I don't know. What would you want to ask, Mac?
I'm gonna be honest. I mean, yes, I'd want to ask her a lot of questions.
The basics,
I care less about what she says and more about the unspoken patterns that are showing up in the room, like the dynamic between the two of us. So
how she
she vacillates. She vacillates, like in the documentary, she presents very young, not as a parental figure. I'd be curious, is that consistent? Is that only showing up when we're being, if we feel like we're being accused of something? She minimizes, which I'm sure we'll talk about. She very much minimizes the impact because she's shown in the interview, they ask her kind of the hard questions that the cops didn't really ask her. They kept throwing her a bone, but the producers ask her, and she's minimizing the impact that it had on her kid. And so we're vacillating between I'm a child and fragile to, I mean, I was never worried about her acting on suicide. And so we vacillate. And then I'd want to know, how does that shift based on me in the room and all that. So kind of the what's not being said is also going to be important, because I also don't know if her depiction of things is going to line up with what other people would say, collateral information, for example. So we do need that history. I'm just saying that personally, I would even probably care a little bit less about that, or put less weight into that, maybe is a better way of saying that, and more so how are we interacting together in the room, and how is that changing based on what I'm asking and how I'm asking things.
See, this is the difference between counseling clinical and clinical forensic, because I'm like trained to do like, and both are important. Like, I didn't even think of what Matt just talked about. The interpersonal, the behavioral pattern and stuff like that. Like, I'm already thinking I want to do a psychopathy checklist and see how far she scores. That's where I'm going, or an MMPI. Whereas what Mac is talking about is so important, because she does this like meek, mild kind of, oh, poor me, and can I just stay with my daughter? But it's kind of like, you encouraged your daughter to commit suicide. Like, how do those even fit in the same person?
And because it's not just that, she also had lied about not working. And so what you don't see in the clip, that's an important background information, is they had to move multiple times because of financial burdens that they were experiencing. Because I think mom, maybe we surmised this or assumed it, but it seemed like mom was in charge of the finances, and you find out she's been lying about these jobs, which understandably, because it really required a lot of time to be texting literally all day long, probably.
Yeah.
So there's the financial burden of, they lost their financial security. They had to move multiple times. Like, dad's worried they're going to lose the house, like all these things. And so there's this whole element too so there's like versatility in terms of what's happened. I would love to know historically too, like what other things came up in this marriage, and what was mom like as a caregiver before all of this? Like, what are we missing? Because the goal of the documentary was much more suspenseful and for the reveal. It was for the big reveal. There was a little bit of theorizing at the end, but that's what's missing, is really going through a lot of the history to be able to fill in a lot of these blanks. You get, is it her sister or maybe someone? I think it's her sister or cousin or friend or something that provide a little bit of information to kind of indicate she was insecure and kind of wild and was like jealous of other people and stuff.
But you bring in a good point, because during that scene, when the cops come to inform her that she's been charged, the husband is like, you don't have this job, and you don't have this other job, and you've been lying about not having these jobs for 6 months to a year. So then So there's pathological lying, right? So when did that start? What else do you pathologically lie about? You pathologically lied about? Because people don't just start lying about one thing. And I understand the documentary was very focused on this particular, because this is the story, right? But what else have you lied about? What else do you lie about? Why? Apparently.
Spence, I wouldn't want to work with this client. So in the clinical practice, so I'm sure y'all would like to bite into this and like maybe enjoy it, but I wouldn't, because I wouldn't see the beneficence of how it works with society. And so I would see this as too much mental effort and fatigue. And I would deem this as a write-off. And you guys would probably want to work with it. It's engaging. Maybe you can learn about other people. I don't give a fuck. Like, this is not, I can impact maybe 10 more people in the mental energy that it would take. And I can grow that pyramid in society instead of focusing on her. But I wouldn't want to engage, because I can literally feel my brain. So when I get tired and my brain's working too hard, I start getting hot, and like I can feel it like eating away at me. And then I get a headache when my brain's working too hard. I wouldn't want to work with her, because I'd be trying to entrap this person like a boxer, like a Olympic level boxer, counterpunching and punching. I wouldn't want to deal with it. I haven't enjoyed it when I'm with other clients, but I would want to ask her and eventually hustle her while she's hustling me. And that would be the cool part of it, because you're both hustling each other, is how much did she enjoy it? Like, I'd eventually let my psychopathy come out and be like, how much did you enjoy it? And I would talk about that. I would just love to see, like, what were the ups and the downs? What did you get your rocks off on? Because I know you fucking enjoyed it. So the question is what parts were enjoyable? Was it the hiding, the lying, the manipulating, the teasing them into suicidality to see if they'll do it? Was it the control? Like, I don't know. But I know she enjoyed some shit, and the question is how much. And you probably only get that out of her if she really trusts you. She's facing prison, but most likely when she dies, she'll probably tell you some of that. I have no idea. I wouldn't want to deal with it. But I do want to know, how much did she orgasm while doing this? Because I know I knew Spence would like that. Not like that.
No, but 100%. I agree. I mean, I haven't done therapy in years. I don't enjoy therapy. Mac does. So I wouldn't want her as a therapy client.
Yeah.
I would love to do a forensic eval on her.
Yeah, to peer into the mind, but not have to deal with all the stuff.
Yep. And then I would refer out to the therapy with Mac, because Mac would play chess with her, and Mac would get all, because she's not as criminally savvy as she thinks she is. To be quite honest, those cops are not the sharpest tools in the shed, right? She thinks she's criminally savvy.
Yeah.
I mean, even when the cops went to the house to arrest her, she was still lying about having the other phone in the backyard.
Everything. Yeah.
She's a compulsive liar. She can't stop. And maybe I'm moving far ahead, but I also think this is the type of person who's going to reoffend. I think she's 100% going to reoffend.
Same.
You can't say.
I think daughter would actually be a more tricky dance, because what you don't see, but I'll share it in the clip that we showed, but to tell you, so daughter is, and she has different backgrounds when she's shot. And so I think that it's possible these were shot at different times, and you can tell kind of at the end, she might have different insights. So what I hope is the case, she ends up wanting to major in criminology. So there's some part of her, but she very much was in denial. She loves her mom. There's still this attachment. She can't see the impact that's been done to her yet. She still very much identifies with mom, which I'm sure there's a lot of enmeshment there. Even before all of this, maybe it wasn't.
She's been fucking her up for years. You know it.
Right. And not like this, I'm sure, but
in other horrible ways.
Right. And she couldn't, in the interview, she was very much still defending her and all of that. And so mom does actually do a little bit of jail time. I do remember seeing the headlines of it. Mom did a little bit of jail time. And dad was being understandably really protective of her, but they still had conversations electronically. But yeah, she was hoping to have a better relationship with her. I think there was something at the end that gave a little twinkle. And again, I think maybe it was shot later, a twinkle that she was starting to feel the impact. That's actually a lot trickier for me as a therapist. When someone is so aligned with the person that has caused them so much harm, that is such a careful dance to make. And therapy, it takes a long time to build that trust. Same thing with mom, just for totally different reasons of like, you have to slowly pull that curtain down to reveal, and it's such a careful dance. So I actually think it would be more, I would really have to be on guard a lot more with daughter there, because her first inclination might be, I mean, maybe not now, obviously it's been several years, but initially the reaction would be to defend mom, understandably.
Yeah, but Mac, I don't know if you remember, I think you mentioned this briefly. It seems in the documentary that they interview her immediately after mom's arrest and then a little bit later. Like you said, the backgrounds are different and she looks a little older. From the time that mom is arrested, daughter seems to still align with mom and like, I want to know why, and I still love her. And then later on, daughter sounds like she's going to put a boundary and potentially never talk to mom ever again. Like there's growth in that little time frame. I think it was before mom went to jail and then after mom went to jail. I'm guessing, but there was a difference. Like you could see her being like,
yeah.
Shout out to dad, because dad sounds like he was a protector.
There was no cognitive dissonance for him, which I think was inspiring and really healthy. There wasn't as much wrestling internally. I mean, even in the moment, he's processing it, and so daughter having that internal conflict, even of trying to reconcile, I think that internal conflict would be a good sign starting therapy. Same thing with mom, but mom doesn't seem to have that internal conflict. I think in her mind, her actions align with her values. And so that's going to be a lot harder to address in therapy. Just like if daughter had no internal conflict at all and she stayed the way she was, of like, no, I love my mom, I'm going to defend my mom. That's a lot harder place to start in therapy. If there's no internal conflict whatsoever and we feel very resolute and congruent, that's a lot harder to chip away and start with, I think.
Mom isn't even good at feigning empathy. She wasn't even sophisticated. You know, some people that are high on psychopathy can feign empathy relatively well. There was nothing. There was just nothing. And again, another interesting thing to me was, and maybe McKenna, you have some insight into this. Why do you think mom agreed to be on the dock? Do you think it was a financial incentive? Do you think it was poor me? Because she didn't even pull at those strings, for me at least. I was like,
I think it was I mean, if they get paid to be it, I mean, that could be a component, because I mean, how is she gonna get a job even without the public attention? She got fired for these other jobs, and we don't know exactly why that was. Maybe it was that she was neglecting her work because she's stalking her daughter and her daughter's boyfriend. By the way, even after they break up, she tries to interfere a little bit with the boyfriend's new girlfriend and texting the new girlfriend's mom, and like really vulgar messages sexually, like it, yeah. And or was she just bad? Is she just a shit engineer, like an IT person? I mean, either way, so there could be a financial incentive. I think her go-to, which I think is savvier to a lot of, not to us, but I think for a lot of people, the poor me piece is it's in line with the gender expectations that we set for mothers and women to cry when you are being accused of something and you want to, and she appears really nurturing, and she probably was in a lot of ways. And so, you're not, like you said, it's not the picture that someone would expect to engage in it, but there's also this gender bias. No one wants to think that a mother especially would do this to their kid, and the sexual component, telling her to kill herself. And when she's confronted on that, she just basically says that, oh, I never worried she was going to act on that. I love my daughter, but like very confidently that was her response. I think it was the poor me piece. I don't think it was, I think that's her go-to to kind of need to have the people take care of her and rescue her in some way. That's just me. What are your thoughts?
I think it depends. There's so many more questions that you have to find out and understand. Like, how did she interact with the kid and her family? How lonely did she feel in the marriage or relationships? How connected did she feel to other people? Was she doing this just solely because she was bored and then that had something to do? I'm wondering if she just felt alone and isolated, and this was a way to like have joy and dopamine, and then she got addicted to it, and then she like enjoyed it and had some weird enmeshment. Something is going on with enjoyment. So I feel like she did this because it's just more and it keeps the story going. And after all this, it's just going to be black and boring and alone. So this just prolongs it.
Enjoyment. Her daughter went to her with the problems, which is an interesting dynamic.
Correct.
So she would inflict the harm, and then the daughter would come to her with the, oh my God, they're harming me. So she was needed by the, you know what I mean? Like
that's what I'm talking about, the enjoyment. And it's like because now she's needed, now she's wanted, now she's being seen, now she's being like used in a way. And so she's enjoying all the human interaction that it's causing. So that's what I was wondering, how bored was she? What was the traumatic background? And so this just puts her more in like that eye and realm. There's a chance it's financial. You'll never know until we get our claws and get to bite into her brain. But yeah, this motherfucker just appears to be like super lonely, and then they just were doing some stuff and hustling their own kid. Wild. But that's the only way you get to love your daughter. Maybe she felt like a shit mom, and this is a way she could feel like a better mom after she got like a taste of it. And she's like, oh shit, I can do this.
Yeah.
To push her is for suicidality is wild. But then to have the girl, it's intense. I would assume it's some type of intimacy related shit. It's intense. Also, what was the relationship with like her and her partner? My God.
That's a good question.
Very good. I can't imagine.
I mean, obviously she was hiding a lot from her husband. He didn't even know she was out of work.
Yes. So I'm like,
2 jobs.
Did they have a relationship, or was it just him working all the time to figure that like what the fuck's going on there?
Fucking Netflix. They ask these questions, Netflix.
I know.
This is why you get paid the big bucks, Netflix.
No.
But like, and that's kind of goes what it is like, though, right? Like, you have somebody who's hiding all these things. I wonder, did they ever talk about like if she was spending like money too during this time while she was like didn't have a job? No, didn't get into that. I'd be like, were you spending a lot of money too? Like, was that part of it? Like, you felt like since she was ahead of like the finances and stuff, and she took care of those, that means she probably was spending money to look like she was going to work and shit like that.
Oh, maybe.
Also buying the burner phones or I have no idea. Like, she got to be spending money somehow.
Yeah. Like, you got to, and you're looking like you're going out, like, unless she did it from home, which she might have, but like,
well, I guess IT from Texas, then it is working from home.
Yeah, so she might be, but yeah, that's crazy. I mean, so I kind of want to get into this question too, of like, what, like, not just as like therapists or anything like that. If you were a friend of like the husband, and he came to you and was just like, "You're not gonna fucking believe what the fuck happened today." Like,
my God.
What do you say to that? What do you say to a guy that tells you all this shit? Like, your wife was bullying your daughter and having a sexually fueled relationship with her boyfriend who are underage. Like, what do you even say to that shit? Like, as a friend,
as a normie, not a psychologist,
not as a therapist, as a normie.
Gem pop.
Well, first of all, let's be clear. The boyfriend wanted no part. The boyfriend wanted
no
part. He was like just as traumatized. Actually, the boyfriend at one point, I think, McKenna, correct me if I'm wrong, he was having suicidal ideation because of the same text messages that he was receiving. I would be really blunt if it was my friend. Like, if Dr. Matt came to me and said, "This is what my husband did," I would probably be like, how are we disposing of the body? Have you already, like, what the fuck? I would be, how are we disposing of the body? If it was a friend.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I would keep my cool. So outside, and my tone of voice would be,
regulated.
That is fucked. But internally I would be like, bro, what the fuck? But I would be like, okay, they're already pretty, so we can freak out about this later. Right now we're in crisis mode. What do we need? Do I need to fly out there? We need to get you a divorce attorney, probably. Like, where are we at with that? How do we keep daughters safe? We cannot trust these cops. They're from the 1800s. Where do we get more how on the civil side? What resources do we need? I'm gonna come over and cook for you because wow, that's a lot, even for whatever years this was, like 2021 or something, when they're finally, all this is happening. I'm like, wow.
Dr. Mack is really good with the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. She would be like, are you hungry? Are you safe? Do you have a shelter? And then she would go all the way to psychological needs and, maybe self-actualization. But yeah, she would be good at I'm good at I'm going to be angry for you. I'm that friend that gets angry.
Yeah, you're the cheerleader. Yep.
Yeah, I'm like, well, he has to die.
I can't do that.
Matt can do that too. Matt can do that.
I'm
too.
sure you can murder. We can all do it.
Yeah, we need to murder this person, but she would be very good at let's go get you some food and a divorce attorney.
Yep. There we go. You heard it here, folks. 2026 admitted she's gonna be on the new show. 2030, The Offenders, coming out January.
Oh my fucking god!
Offenders. I'm gonna keep plugging it. I'm finding little ways in my brain to plug it. You heard it here.
Can we please put this in a shirt? Marvel's Offenders.
Marvel's Offenders.
They're all in fucking prison garb.
Marvel's Offenders. Starring Dr. Lena Haji, political psychologist, board certified, and
almost
convicted murderer. No, she'll be board certified by then. You got a couple years till you get caught.
I do. Okay, fair.
Yeah. Yeah, a couple years. It's already happened.
He was found with a red bottom stiletto in his eye. We can't figure out who did it.
Why is there drugs in his ass?
That's a sign of the murderer.
Is Dr. Miles here?
Lena, should we share our basic conceptualization of what we think?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, please do.
Drove this, because we've heard a lot. We've heard some people posited on the show, and then people repackage that on social media as if they were the first person to think of it. But there was the kind of Munchausen by proxy,
right.
She's inflicting harm on her daughter in an emotional way, and then that allowed her, because she was also getting a lot of support. She was gung-ho with the other mom. They're getting it done. She's getting lots of sympathy as well, because she's the mom that's dealing with this as well.
So much attention.
And then there were some people saying it was pedophilia, which technically that's not correct, because these are not prepubescent children, but I digress. Was it due to sexual attraction to the boyfriend only?
Was he good looking?
Someone did.
He looked good. Don't make no comment. No comment. This is a weird area.
Why would you comment on that?
Comment.
No, don't comment.
He's objectively. He's.
Yeah.
I'm stopping.
He's white.
He's an objectively good-looking
person.
Average white kid.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just figured if he was super.
I did have interest. He did have a lot of girls that I think were interested in him,
there
right? They said it in there. Yeah. They said that in there.
Girls
she was kind of insecure, I think, and obviously because it was bullying toward her, basically trying to get them to break up. It was you're too ugly. I fucked him, and it got really vulgar and graphic, and then saying to him the more graphic stuff. It was trying to break them up and targeting her in a negative way, obviously inappropriately targeting him in a negative way, but the goal was to show sexual interest. So some people posited that was the clear reason. I think one person, I don't remember which person featured, had one that did align more with maybe our kind of overall guess. Again, more questions than answers, but I don't think she's one thing. I think we can all agree on that. So yeah, Lena, I don't know if you want to share what our guess was.
And let's be clear. She did break them up. It worked.
Yes.
It worked.
Yes.
She managed to break up her daughter with the boyfriend, but
then still went though. So that can't be the only reason. That could not be the sole purpose, because she kept stopping.
Totally. Yes, she kept going, and she even messaged the boyfriend's new girlfriend, which so yeah, a lot of people hypothesize that she had sexual feelings towards the boyfriend and that he was the ultimate goal. I personally disagree. I think maybe there was a twinge of that in there. As Max said, that's not technically pedophilia. I think it was more of a puppet master thing. I'm going to say where you are, who you're with, how you're with them. I think it was more than that than so I want Owen. I think his name was Owen. I want to be Owen's one and only, or I'm sexually attracted to Owen. That's my personal take. Wow. I also think there was a lot of cluster B, which is a cluster of personality disorders in the DSM-5 TR, which includes borderline personality disorder, histrionic personality disorder, antisocial personality disorder, right? And narcissistic personality disorder. So if you look at her behavior, and again, just based on this documentary, she had traits from a lot of those. You could say she had some borderline traits with the kind of fear of abandonment, push-pull. That was very clear. Push the daughter away, pull her in. Histrionic in terms of the overdramatic attention seeking, maybe not so much outwardly, but she still was attention seeking, even though I know people aren't happy with that term these days. It was attention seeking. It was what it was. Narcissism in the sense that, you know, it was all about her. It was really came down to all about her. And then, of course, antisocial. I mean, she lacked, in my opinion, she lacked remorse. She lacked empathy. She lacked any kind of accountability, any kind of responsibility, pathological lying. So she was kind of this cluster B mess, if I think.
Yeah, I think too that it's possible there was an element as well of being jealous of her daughter.
Yeah.
In terms of, we don't know what her high school years were like. And so if we think of
she's a pretty girly
term, yeah, if we think of splitting not from a diagnostic standpoint, from old school psychodynamic, it means that these parts of myself that I've been taught to hate from, and I'll expand it beyond the family and parents, like the society as a whole, the generation you grew up in, your community, all that, you try to cut those out of yourself and try to like box them up somewhere, these things that you hate about yourself. And that's supposed to come out somehow. And so it seems like her daughter, I think, had aspects of herself that she really wanted. And her daughter maybe inadvertently, unconsciously, like showed a mirror to herself about the things that she doesn't have now, that she maybe didn't have growing up. And there was some compartmentalizing. She's able to nurture her daughter over here, but then let out that violence, really, like anger, hatred, in this other way. She was really able to keep those separate, which I would guess makes it a little easier for her to kind of cope with. And the sexualized part with the boyfriend, I could see being as a result of that. Because in some ways, she presents like a high school teenage girl. She presents like emotionally, physically, she kind of is at that maturity level. I could see some part of her maybe picturing herself in that way, and in the same mental playing field as these other teens that are kind of in the picture. I don't think that that's all of it. I think that there are definitely elements probably of a bunch of things, but just wanted to add that too.
Interesting on how she was coddling the daughter like the whole time and like holding her, petting her. But then also when the police officer went to go get the daughter, she put her legs out like a lot of my neurodivergent girlies on the chair, which felt just very young. Felt very, 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 very young. Yeah. Maybe she was doing it for grounding, but she was playing so innocent.
Yes.
And I know she was doing that on purpose. Was she regressing to some other trauma thing? But that was all on purpose.
She didn't give her daughter literally the physical space to have her own reaction to what was happening. And by the way, why was dad not called before we told the daughter? That pissed me off. You already, like, the news was already told, the narrative was already played out. Mom is physically holding daughter. not allowing her to react in whatever way she organically feels.
That's kind of scary.
And then they call dad. It is scary.
Yeah,
100%.
dad should have been there first. If you already thought she was a suspect, then dad should have been there as well too. Yeah.
Also, why was the daughter even in the same like?
Yes.
Like this is not. You're not a mediator as a cop. Like you're supposed to get the information like one by one, but then they have the daughter there as like she's just like, hey, I got something to tell you. Your mom has something to say. And I'm like, what are you, a fucking teacher or a cop? Like, this isn't, I don't.
It's weird.
They should have been separated.
But like,
I don't know
that
procedure.
doesn't seem like it's good procedure to have like somebody who's the victim and then B, the perpetrator in the same room just talking it out like it's nothing, and then be like, oh yeah, you want to call your dad too, he'll be here. Oh, you want to tell him this too? Great, cool.
Yeah,
we get no rights as men. We get no rights as men. It's bullshit in America. We need to fix this.
No, but to Mac's point, there was a gender bias there. Huge gender bias. Because what if dad had been the perpetrator?
I was just going to ask that.
Not have let them in the same room. No way.
This is true.
No way. If dad had been the perpetrator or the perpetrator had been any other male, I guarantee you they would have made sure the daughter was out of the house, safe and secure, instead of just letting him hug her.
Yeah.
Like, I can't leave her. That was where, when Mac first said gender bias, I was like, what is she talking about? Honestly, I had to check myself. I was like, what is she talking about? And then I realized, oh my God, if that was a male perpetrator, they would have absolutely been separate. I believe that wholeheartedly.
Would have been in cuffs, probably.
Yes.
If it would have been a black or brown dude, that motherfucker might have been shot. Let's be real.
Yep.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking when you said gender. I was like, what about even race?
Yeah, race, 100%.
Yeah. She got treated so kindly. I was like, wow. And from what you said, the heinous crimes.
They were bad.
And then she's barely did any jail time, it seems like, or real repercussions. I'm like,
I think she did under 2 years, which is nothing because the texts were egregious.
Yeah.
The texts were really.
Yes. And I don't know how the parents were more active. The other parents in the community were getting fucked too. I'm like, I'm surprised it wasn't worse, but then we just be letting motherfuckers off in America. And then incarcerating black and brown people for like no reason.
She's a woman. She didn't, I don't think, had that much of a criminal history. And then also because we don't take stalking seriously in this country, where you're much more likely to reoffend with that type of behavior. And kind of like when they dismissed it as kids just being kids at the beginning. I mean, cyber stalking is still serious, but in this case, it's really hard, I think, for people to get over the mental hurdle. There's this podcast called Nobody Should Believe Me. There are aspects of that podcast I really like. It talks about Munchausen/factitious disorder imposed on another. And it basically talks about what is the one position of power that women are offered in this country, and it is caregiving over kids. And so we underestimate women. Women can be whatever kind of perpetrator, but we underestimate them. And yet we'll assume that men are violent, and that we would probably have assumed that a man committed this type of crime. And so it's kind of a gender bias, like both ways. And obviously adding the racial piece in there. Absolutely. This would have been treated as much more violently. It's just when people are not seeing the physical violence or whatever, they just, I don't know. Stalking is just not taken very seriously. Even something to this degree where they literally had to take the boyfriend's phone from him at night because the texts were coming in all night, even when he was sleeping.
He couldn't function. I mean, he thought about taking his life. He could not function whatsoever. And I agree. And it's, I mean, this country's criminal justice system is always so slow to catch up, but stalking, per the research, has a really high recidivism rate. That's why I said I absolutely believe that she's going to reoffend. It might not be against her daughter. It might be against some guy on Tinder. She's going to reoffend. I should never speak in absolutes because I know that that's wrong, but I think she has a high risk of reoffending in terms of stalking somebody.
You know, I'm going to go back to the gender stuff. And I know I talk a lot of shit, but I would assume that the victims of the stalking are usually women. Right. I would assume, I don't want to be a dumbass, but I would assume it leans more women being the victims from male perpetrators. And I would assume that we don't take stalking seriously because of that, because we really just don't give a fuck about women. I would assume that's where that comes from. Now, I could be an ass and I don't know the numbers, but I'm just assuming that those are the correct numbers based on the shit that I know. and the victims that I've seen, and how none of my girlies or many other women in the country are never protected, even when they're physically assaulted, beaten, and or raped. And so why the fuck would we care if they're being stalked by these perpetrators? So not only is she a woman benefiting from it, and like it's just fine, she's okay, but then also we don't really care about it in general because we just don't give a fuck about women, as we've seen over and over and over in the country, and as me and Spence even talked about in the political race that just happened for president. Like, we just really fucking hate women. That's what I was thinking about when you said we don't care about stalking. And I was like, yeah, we don't. And now we're giving like rapists more rights in universities and around America. And then we got people protecting people, like Spence has said, on Roblox that are assaulting like all these other kids and stuff. And like, what are we doing to help the victims? That's why my whole mind went. And I got like super angry when she was talking about recidivism, because I was like, fucking hell. Someone's going to get got for no reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Hope like the family got like some type of like order against her, like some type of.
Oh, I think they did. I think
okay.
They had. She was not allowed to have visits from them.
That's good.
Incarcerated. I think they touched on a restraining order. I don't remember what they said. I don't know if you remember.
So maybe she was 18, maybe, or
yeah,
something.
Yeah, she was 18, and then she could either refile or choose herself, something like that.
That's good. And all the other families should do the same thing too, because she fucking ruined their lives as well. And that's the thing. I mean, like shit like this for her, she was so entrapped like in her own fucking world. She didn't really give a shit about like what's happening to the other people that's happening, and whatever the reasons why she did it, doesn't matter, because other people's lives were fucked up. And she was, and like what was she must have been really just sneaking out and doing shit, because like she, like you said, she was doing it in the middle of the night. Like the husband's probably right there, unless he like works nights or some shit like that. And she was just sneaking off, texting this kid and just being
all night.
Disgusting.
Yeah, and like she would, like the principal said, she was like an active mother. So I remember talking about how she would go to like all her daughter's basketball games, but then she would text something like, "You fucking suck. You only made 5 points."
Jesus.
And the cops, which from the 1800s, were like, God, now we need a list of everybody who was at the basketball game, because they knew that she scored 5, and they still couldn't figure it out. But like, so you're like cosplaying mom, or at least attending the basketball games. You're texting at least 3, 4, 5 people, because she was texting other girls and the boyfriend and her daughter and texting at night, like you said. So was her husband just sleeping because he's exhausted from work and she's just going at it? I mean, it had to be all consuming.
Maybe
which just makes it that much more terrifying.
Crazy.
Like what you talked about, because this was her whole existence for a while.
I wonder if she hated the kid too in some ways, like you said, Dr. Mack. But I've had moms talk about postpartum and talking about being forced to have pregnancies, and then really not caring about the kid, for a point. And then eventually they do a lot better at that, but like still they hate what was done to their body. They're grieving over the life that they thought they were going to have. So maybe she hated the kid for that, and this was a way to like take it out on her and her husband and these other people. Who knows? I'm gonna do a small pivot. You guys keep bringing up this thing with these cops. So maybe this is, I forgot what island or what country or Providence or whatever the fuck. I'm just saying words now. They're from fucking Mount Pleasant, Michigan, whatever. This is the finest police officers there are. What are you talking about? These are upstanding white officers. They are the best of the best. To be fair, they didn't seem that racist. I was actually kind of happy about that. Their haircut looked racist.
Did they have an opportunity to be racist?
No.
No,
what are you talking about? They're all white people. You can tell, though.
white
You can tell. I can tell. Shout out to Michigan cops. Not
Did
that
you just
racist.
say that?
Yeah, I said they didn't seem that racist.
Crazy.
You can only get one or the other. You hate the blacks or you hate the
Nobody
gays.
was another color other than white.
I know,
And you're
everybody-
like, they weren't racist.
But you can tell the way they treated them.
Why are you defending these cops? What is going on?
I'm just talking
here?
shit, man. I'm
No,
just
you're
talking
not.
shit.
That's the thing. He doesn't.
I don't always do this.
Yes, you do. You're like, they're not all bad, guys. They're not all bad. All right. While they're putting their fucking knee on your neck, they're not all fucking bad. Okay. Like, Jesus Christ. Okay.
Never
What do you
once
say, brother?
What's going
Boys
on?
in blue, right?
I got a fat cramp.
Blue lives matter.
Don't tread on me.
Uh-huh. Jesus Christ.
These cops. What do you think? Do you think this is normal for a lot of cops? You think this is normal for a lot of police departments? You think this is normal about the way they start the investigation? You think this is normal on how they treat like these type of crimes?
I think it's a lack of cyber resources in small towns specifically. Like if this was like a physical, like what, like robbery or something, I think it's about just lack of resources. I think that's why they've been kind of roasted, is like they were trying for a year and a half, and because they didn't have that much, I mean, they were checking. It wasn't for a lack of trying. Like they checked the school cameras. They brought in the kids. The problem is that they jumped to conclusions like with the other kids, and that ended up, you know, causing a lot of problems. Kids were being retaliated against because they were, you know, being accused of being the perpetrator of this. And so there was some like tunnel vision, but they also didn't have as much to go on. So they're kind of just bubbling because there wasn't a cyber person in the area. And then I don't know what the protocol or procedure is for like getting state police involved or something. Like maybe there has to be something. I don't know how, maybe they're bogged down with crimes. Maybe it has to reach a certain level. I do know that the reason that they finally called the FBI, and it probably took them like not that long, because they have a lot more resources, but because the daughter was, I mean, they were worried she was gonna complete suicide. It was to that point. It had
So
been
that's why
that
it got
long.
escalated, but to the FBI because of that?
Yeah, because the daughter was struggling so much. The dad, like they were worried she was going to act on it, and it had been so long and there had been no leads. Could they have contacted the FBI before that? Probably. Again, I don't really know the procedure or policy there, but I do think in this case it's a lack of, it's kind of what Lena was talking about. I mean, it's taking a while to catch up. They tried. I'm not going to say that they did check cameras. They did interview folks, and like when the basketball count thing came up, they're like, we need a list of everyone that was there. Like they tried to look into these things, but it was just not having the resources. And then there was definitely some, you know, assumptions being made with some of the other kids without having that hard evidence yet. But yeah, it was frustrating to watch.
Yeah, I mean, we can laugh at those cops, and that was an easy narrative. But I agree, it wasn't for lack of effort. It wasn't one of those cases where they're like super dismissive and you're like, oh, cops never do a shit. It wasn't that. It was really like, this case was such an anomaly, first of all. And I don't think they had cyber training. I don't think they had resources. I think this was out of their wheelhouse. And yeah, it was kind of entertaining that they called the feds, and within like 24 hours, the feds were like, oh yeah, it's the mom. It's like, oh my God, you guys didn't, you know, but I don't want to knock them too bad because I really think it was.
They were trying. My thing is then if they don't, I'm kind of confused on how they don't have more resources in even some of these smaller counties, because the cyber internet shit is like a real thing now everywhere. Like everyone's getting fucked over on the internet. So I'm surprised there's not a place to tap into statewide that you can be like, oh, let me tap into this. But that should be a thing.
If there is, I'm guessing that it's more devoted to probably like other forms of like CSAM, like child porn, or like the sexploitation, which I don't think was that as common in 2021 as it is now. But yeah, to your point, I mean, there are a lot of kids dying by suicide or getting terrorized for money because of that. Like there are all these pieces. They need more people. I mean, I kind of wish they just posted on Facebook like, hey, is anyone in the community or in the state like a private person, maybe you work for like an IT company and you're actually good at your job, unlike maybe mom, are you good at cyber shit? Like, can you come and volunteer for us or something? Like, I don't know. There has to be people in the state that are good at this.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think that, I mean, I have a lot of friends who work with sex offenders, and like you said, CSAM, you know, child sex abuse material is huge.
Rampant.
Internationally, CSAM is insane. And all my friends who work with CSAM and law enforcement, even feds, they're always one step ahead. I mean, just like anything else, where there's a will, there's a way. I think it's underfunded. I think it's under-resourced. I think it's under-trained. And I think law enforcement is always playing catch up, even at the highest level. but they're always one step ahead. And once you have an image out there or a message out there or anything out there on the web, I don't think we can fully grasp how widespread it is so quickly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hear law enforcement complain about this all the time. Like they're always one step ahead. The bad guys.
I would guess that's what the resources would have gone to. If maybe there are, I would assume there are statewide law enforcement agencies, but I'm guessing because it's still underfunded,
tapped
they
out.
probably have to prioritize, like, all that stuff.
Crazy. What else do we have on this list, Spence?
Can talk about.
Looks like the dad.
I guess we could talk about like just making boundaries. I mean, what would you say is something that, no, not to this degree, obviously, but like setting those boundaries for like, like you find something out about your partner and stuff like that, and then you're not just instinctually either staying with or just breaking up right away, but like what about those people that like they want to just take some time to think about what happened? Like what would you say for people that are trying to find those boundaries even though you're in this state of like you're just confused emotionally, intellectually? Like what are some things that people can take away, especially just creating boundaries in these relationships?
How to identify it, whatever.
Yeah. Because I'm such a go hard, go home person. I love the block button. I cut people off immediately. I'm also probably the oldest one on this screen right now, so I don't play those bullshit. I'm over it. I'm cutting you off. And it's not the healthiest. It's really not. So I'll let Matt take
Damn.
I mean, sometimes a block button's important. You got a rando on the internet. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, this is different. We're talking about interpersonal, like
about relationships,
boundaries.
Yeah.
Like, how do you?
I mean, if I think about daughter who may want to keep some kind of relationship with mom, and clearly there have been, I mean, whatever the extent that that's looked like, there have been really loose boundaries. I think mom and maybe daughter, I don't know, have a hard time seeing that the other one exists as like a separate person who's responsible for their actions and has autonomy and all these things. So for someone like the daughter, I think that, like you'd really have to trial and error that almost and really be intentional and thoughtful. So if it's like a long-term enmeshment with whoever, like a partner, a parent, family member, I think you may not want to fully cut them out. I don't like when I mean, let's be honest, it's a lot of times white therapists who are quick to say, and Lena's not one of them, she's joking about this, but the therapists are like, oh, we'll just cut your family off, the whatever, like just we're going to cut them off and I'm like, well, I mean, you're coming from a place of privilege. Not everyone can do that. And also they may not want to do that. And so then it's finding this carefully crafted, nuanced plan. And that can look a lot of different ways. Like, does she limit the quantity of time that she sees mom, talks to mom on the phone? Do we not talk about certain subjects? Does she say that outright to mom in an assertive way? I don't feel comfortable about talking about this. If you bring this up, I understand. I'm going to have to exit or whatever. Is it more implicit? Like, in some families where you don't have the privilege to be as assertive, or that's not really going to get the result that you're wanting, do you just find an excuse to stop the conversation? Do you switch topics? Like, there's so many ways that people can go about this. I think that is going to be the toughest type of dynamic. And it's going to be really hard because you have to be vigilant about it. If you're not on top of it, especially at the beginning, it's kind of like when you go and visit family for the holidays, you just kind of regress. If you're not paying attention, you just regress reflexively back into whatever that old dynamic is. So you really have to stay on top of it. It's kind of like if someone has a substance use issue in the family, like as soon as someone changes that dynamic, and if it's our clients and they're making that choice, that means that balance or homeostasis is disrupted. And so a lot of people, usually outside of their awareness, are gonna buck up against that because change is really scary. And so if we're not vigilant about that, especially if there's some kind of life stressor that happens between the client or whoever the other person or people are, it's easy to regress back into that. But I also think it's helpful to remind ourselves that it's okay if that happens. That's
Yeah.
really difficult. And for especially a situation like this, there is no manual for what this is supposed to look like. If she chooses to keep a relationship with mom, then that is going to have to be a really nuanced conversation. Now, other things I think should have been more clear cut. Like, I'm sorry, the principal was like, I can't just make the school cell phone free. I actually did like the principal a lot. He was really funny. I think you could have made the school phone free during the day, and that would have at least given them a few
Break.
hours of like reprieve. The parents didn't, I don't envy the other parents either being in this situation of like, your kid just wants to be a kid and relate to other people. They're going to have FOMO if you take away their phone, but their phone is also this big source of distress. That's hard. I don't have kids, so I probably shouldn't be the person to like advise people on that. My urge would be like, no, we're getting rid of the phone. Well, first of all,
Yeah.
we're going to find some cyber person on the internet, and I'm going to track down who this person is, and I
I'll
will find them
find you.
myself. I will find you myself. If not, we're going to have to take away the phone and find some other way, which is shitty. And that's just a terrible spot to be in. So there were some things where I'm like, we could have had like really clear cut black and white boundaries here. And then there were other things that obviously were a lot more nuanced. Like I think a lot of us have questions about the finances in that marriage and how that worked. And so is that going to be a conversation that dad needs to have with any future partners of like who's keeping track of the finances? It's tricky, all that to say. Very long-winded answer.
How in the hell they couldn't just get new numbers or just block her? That
They
app
did.
changed the
They
number?
did.
They did.
They did all
Yep.
of it. Got new numbers.
Yep.
They
And she
phone.
kept finding out their numbers?
Well,
Which was
because it's
the
mom. Yeah.
You knew their numbers.
Oh. Oh,
Yeah.
because they would give it to her mom and then she would
Of
use it.
course.
Got it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
in this particular situation, I know Spencer was asking more in general. I think in this particular situation, this is just my 2 cents, and this is why I don't do therapy. I think the mother's conduct was so egregious that I would have no problem
Same.
pushing daughter to go no contact. And
100%.
I know no contact is a very popular social media term right now, but I think in this particular situation,
Very much fine.
it was so egregious that if I was the therapist, I would probably consciously or subconsciously be directing the daughter to go no contact for the rest of her life. But that's
hard.
Yeah, it's hard, and it's me being biased, and it's me being very narrow-minded. I think the mother is incapable of not causing more harm because she's going to make it about herself.
And when I've done that with clients, though, Dr. Haji, it's like I state that bias. Like, hey, homie, this is probably what I do. You are not me, and I am not in your role, but this is what I would do because this shit is fucked up. You can go back to them. You can talk to them. You can set new boundaries, new pathways. Like Spence was trying to say, what would you do? Maybe we only share like small stuff with them, Spence, but I would be like, nah. And you can continue to work with me. I'm just letting you know, I don't think that this person is trustworthy at all. I don't know how you could ever trust this person. And I would lead them down a road to, let's prove on why you would even want them in your life.
Right.
And if you
I
can't
think
prove
that-
that shit, homie, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the key. Why, as therapists, we have to empower the client to come to that conclusion on their own and to realize why would you want to continue your relationship with your mother? I mean, it's easy to answer. It's my mother. I love her. She birthed me. She raised me. It's my mother. I get that. But and once again, this is why I don't do therapy, because I don't want to be that therapist that imposes my will on clients. And I, if I'm being quite honest, I used to do that a lot when I did therapy with inmates. Stop getting high, stop recidivating, stop robbing people, stop hurting your family. And then I had a mentor tell me when I was very green, you're trying to get them to do the straight path. What makes you think they even want the straight path? And I was like, shit. It was an eye-opening moment. I'm trying to reform everybody and make everybody not recidivate. How do you even know that's what they want? Some guys are very happy being criminally antisocial, in prison, simulation seeking, and I would be imposing my will on them, being like, stop coming back to prison. And it's like, did you even check if that's what he wants? It was a tough lesson that I had to learn.
I think too.
Not just that's not just specific to correctional populations. I think
Yes.
that's specific to any population.
Correct.
Yeah. With family too, I think it's hard when there's been such a focus on nuclear families. I think some other communities have, because they've been forced to, they're closer to extended family members, for example, or they have chosen family, or like whatever word you want to put on that. Like maybe they're closer to cousins than they feel like they are to biological parents. And a situation like this, like I don't know what their community culture is in terms of who they think family is. And so I think that that part can be especially hard with family, like in terms of deciding whether or not to go no contact, is there's this expectation that this, in this case, I guess, my mother needs to be in my life because I'm supposed to have a mother, as opposed to can we find someone else that has that kind of mother figure role? I do think some other communities have been forced in some ways and or gifted the ability and people to find their way out. And I don't know what that looks like again in this family or community, but sometimes I know that expectation, just like, oh, we need to stay married for the kids. It's like, oh, I'm supposed to have a mother in my life or father in my life, whatever. And that just puts a lot of pressure and expectation rather than interrogating what is it about this person that is a mother figure? What am I looking for? And is that the person that's able to provide that?
Yeah, that's a good point. Where else can you tap into some kind of social support? Is aunts or church or mosque or or the temple or community centers, high school. I think as a whole, no matter where you come from, what your demographic background is, I think this idea of like, we're supposed to have mom, we're supposed to have dad, we're supposed to get along with our siblings, not necessarily. Can you tap into social support elsewhere? And that's easier said than done, especially depending on the culture you're from. But sometimes that's healthier, quote unquote, than my mom's an asshole, but she's my mom, so I'm going to keep her close.
It's interesting. We do this all the time with like couples, I feel like, as well too. Just couples. Or like, they just stay with this person that treats them like shit continuously and tells them that they're shit continuously. I'm just like, what are we doing? And then you got them in therapy. Other people tell them you need to break up, and like they just don't do it. And then finally they come to you like, it's done. I finally understand. And I'm just like, sure you do. Sure you do. I'll see you in a month, you son of a bitch. Okay. Yeah, okay. And I'm like, hopefully he sticks to it. Hopefully she sticks to it. And you're like, I know you're not going to stick to it. I know. And I get it's tough. But my God, look at the evidence.
Yep.
It's
Again,
tough.
cultural pressures to be coupled with someone, like as a romantic partner, for sure.
My God. So tough. I think that's like everything that we had, Spence, because we already talked about the dad. We talked about the mom, the diagnosis, cluster B. We talked about the officers, boundaries. I think we hit on everything. The whole town being kind of fucked over and overwhelmed. The boyfriend. That's it.
There you go.
Any other seasoning before we skedaddle?
I think we talked about the whole meaning of life, actually. So
we had a whole existential
crisis,
and then we resolved it. You guys should watch that doc, though. It's actually very interesting.
It's so good.
Check it out.
And the Elizabeth Smart one.
Yeah.
Question.
And it's not that long. It's not that long. So like.
What do you recommend? What do you recommend documentaries like this that you want like our followers, our clients to listen to?
Oh, I have a list.
Jesus. Holy shit.
Mac, have you seen
Still scrolling.
That's a thick
I'm
one.
impressed.
Are any of those checked off? Good Lord.
Oh, I've watched all of these.
Oh, you've watched? Well,
that's all you watch?
That's more psychopathic.
Good Lord.
Totally psychopathic.
We said we're unwell.
Your tism is showing. It's a big one.
We said we're unwell.
Yeah, I mean, like when my therapist is like, you should probably go for a walk in the park. I'm like, I have Netflix. Are you insane?
Girl, don't you do
Watch
CrossFit?
Anything happy? What?
I thought you do CrossFit.
I work out. I travel. I like to go out.
Yeah,
to
I was
dinner.
gonna say you don't hermit in your house. Yeah.
But I'm also very my documentaries are my, what do they call it, Mac?
Squish toy?
Yeah, my squish toy, I guess.
Yeah, your stem toy.
Your comfort thing.
Yeah.
Comfort thing. Yeah.
My little comfort thing.
Do you watch
I
anything
think those
like
are both good.
nice and happy?
Do you watch like
I'm not saying you have
Disney?
to. I'm not saying you should. I'm just saying like this is all they're all true crime
Sing
shit.
Sing, maximum security prison. I don't know if you've heard of Sing Sing. Famous maximum security prison in upstate New York. I was there from 2005 to 2008, and I used to come back to my mom's house and turn on.
You told us that.
Jeffrey Dahmer documentary. Yeah. And she would be like, I don't understand. You have this all day in your job. Why don't you watch comedy or something else? And I was like, no. And that was almost 20 years ago. So the fact that I still do not put on comedy, reality, anything light, I've long accepted this is
that's fine.
Although I did watch Mormon Wives, thanks to
I did get her to watch Mormon Wives.
Is that happy?
It's not happy.
It's not.
It's not.
This last season was bad.
It's like sitcom-y, I heard. It's kind of funny, I heard. Satire.
It was interesting.
It was interesting.
So
this last season was bad.
If you I have to ask, have you ever had any partners or like friends? Yeah, where like they like no pause. Let me fit. Well,
she's like, oh, I have. Let me tell you.
Well, how autistic are you? Just hiding in your room, or is it just a brothel?
They cold DM'd her, obviously.
You did.
Obviously. Those
She's
are what
like,
she really goes for. She's like, oh,
she did.
I like the.
She's just gonna suck on your throat tattoo.
Jeez.
I'm sorry. So wait a minute.
I love Spider-Man.
The joke. Have you ever had a partner or friends come over to your crib, or you go over to their crib, and they put on like some romance or some rom-com, something easy, something light, and you're like, you piece of shit. Like you and never talk to them. Like you're instantly like scratch.
You know, I'm on like 4 true crime shows on Amazon Prime, right?
Yeah,
most people in my life have not watched them, which is good.
No.
That's a good thing. Because if everybody was like me, we'd probably be in a serial killer cult together. Mac and I are on the verge of doing that already. So,
and you know, as they say, 2030, January, the offenders.
The offenders. We need someone interesting enough to lead us, I think is what it is. I haven't found anyone that's interesting.
You need someone.
No, but
you need a good white man.
You and I haven't gone on a serial killing spree is because you and I, we would have way too much fun in jail, but we also wouldn't tolerate the food in jail.
What the
fuck? We would be in confinement. We would be in confinement. You and I would get in trouble so fast.
That you're right. That is actually the one thing that prohibits me from acting on violent thoughts is I can't handle the food. It would be a no-go.
You would die
for me.
Wow.
They said jail is not a deterrent.
Anything else is fine.
So like if Dr. Mac, after you guys were hanging out, she's like, you know, I just want to chill at the crib and, you know, I'm going to put on Lilo and Stitch. You'd be like, this bitch.
Lilo Stitch.
I'd be like, call me tomorrow, and I would just go. I love you. Tomorrow.
Damn.
She would get it, though. She would get it.
You get yours, girl.
Yeah.
She'd get it.
I do watch some comedy. Not as much.
No, you don't watch the good stuff either. You're just like trauma.
No, well,
it's
I'm
like
not
stab.
Really
You know?
but like I watch St. Dennis Medical. That's funny.
That's good. I like that.
Lena, that's like The Office, but in an ER.
I do love The Office. I go to comedy shows all the time. I should say that.
Yes, that's important.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's variety.
And The
there.
Paper, I watched The Paper.
Okay.
I liked it. So there are definitely some, and then Traders I think is pretty funny right now. Like the meme of this being Barbenheimer is the pit and Traders. That's my Barbenheimer. I agree with that right now. That one's more lighthearted than some of the other reality TV stuff. Yeah.
So, God damn it. The question was, what shows do you recommend that people that like this shit? Dr. Lena, you don't have to say the fucking, just pick
I think the classics probably are Mindhunter.
That's a good one.
Mindhunter has been on Netflix for a long time. It's a couple of FBI profilers. One of them was actually my guest professor during my master's degree. Douglas, he's awesome. Most of these are international, so I'm really being an ass right now.
Only like international crime.
Inventing Anna was really good.
I stabbed a dude in Sweden. Boom. Like, oh,
Yeah,
nice.
The Fall, Love Stalker Killer, Buried Truth,
That was a plot twist.
Nurse Jackie was old school. God, these are all international. Teal Swan, remember that one, Mac? We had just become friends. Worst Roommate Ever is really good.
Ooh, yes.
That
Evil
smile.
Genius, American Murder, Family Next Door. The Staircase is good. Yeah, that's enough.
Okay.
Bad Surgeon.
Dr.
Bad
Matt,
Surgeon.
what's your
Bad Surgeon is good.
what's your Mount? What is it called? Mount Rushmore. What's your Mount Rushmore? I think that's 4. That might be. It's 4. Okay, it's not 5.
So I should preface this by saying I'm not really a fan of ones that are trying to be messy or glorifying the person and really dramatizing it. I'd rather we just stick to the facts and whatever is going on. And so some people may not appreciate that as much. I really like the Elizabeth Smart one. It's at the forefront of my mind. But the reason that I really like that one is, number one, a lot of us like grew up around that time, but we were super young or like didn't know all the details. And she doesn't talk about it as much on the documentary, but she went on Armchair Expert to promote it and also added details there in terms of the lack of victim-centered care the cops gave people back then, and how complicated that or complex that offender was. And, you know, some people jumped to conclusions, investigators. I understand why, because that was an anomaly case. That was extremely far. That was the zebra case. So I understand why they jumped to conclusions, but that probably lost some time. And she's featured in it. And, you know, weren't there some other ones recently that were more survivor focused that were harder to watch?
You and I have gone away a little bit from the offender focus to the let me see.
Bad Surgeon I think was really well laid out. I think
Bad Surgeon was well laid out.
Right. There's
what was the Munchausen? Oh, the Maya. What's it called?
Oh, Taking Care of Maya. That one's really biased. I will say, if people watch that,
very biased, but it's good.
It's good. They left out a lot of important evidence out of that one. That's the other thing too with documentaries is we have to be mindful that there's a point of view being given, and that point of view can be helpful. And then also, you know, it's fun to pick out the little clues that you get. Like, does the lighting change depending on who's being interviewed or how zoomed out the camera is? These subtle psychological kind of tricks that might guide our opinions on things. Worst Roommate Ever that one's just wild. But yeah, I think Bad Surgeon's a good one.
Okay.
That one comes up, really shows grandiosity and narcissism. There's a difference between like a mercy killer or someone doing that because of the sadism and enjoying getting pleasure out of causing people pain. Whereas this guy had such like unchecked grandiosity and was not nearly as good of a surgeon as he thought that he was. And so in that aspect, I think it's interesting.
Yeah.
There's some other I prefer podcasts probably over documentaries at this point, actually. If I'm
Killer Inside, Aaron Hernandez. Have you ever seen that one? Aaron Hernandez to me is fascinating. The head injury with the psychopathy.
Yeah.
The old school, if you're really into forensic psychology and psychopathy, the Iceman tapes are those are a classic. You're watching cops interview a serial killer psychopath, and he's like quintessential psychopath. Like, Iceman tapes are great. I had to watch them in my forensic psych program, but and then another one for me that's an absolute must, just because this is my favorite serial killer, the Night Stalker, Richard Ramirez.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I just find him so fascinating. Because he really had no MO, so to speak. I mean, he used gun, strangulation, stabbing, poison. His victims were Black, white, gay, straight, old, young, women, children. And so that's why they couldn't catch him, because there was no. So to me, that's kind of clinically, forensically fascinating. However, because you're like, what is this urge to kill? But like, you know, to me, somebody like Ted Bundy's boring. Like, he all liked the girls with the middle part and the college age girls. Like to me, a Ted Bundy is like boring. Even a Jeffrey Dahmer, even though he was a cannibal, is boring. Night Stalker to me is like, what the fuck? You like raped and stabbed an Asian woman on Thursday, but then you shot a man in the back of the head on Saturday. Like it's just weird. It's just for me, that's interesting. I think that's one of the better documentaries.
As we're wrapping up here, question: have y'all seen that new season of Dexter that me and Spence saw? And like,
I refuse to watch it.
I haven't.
Why?
Bro, the new season is so good.
It's good.
It's a serial killer club that they're in.
I know, but I love Dexter original so much that remakes always piss me off.
It's not a remake per se. It's like a sequel.
Is it?
Kinda. Yeah.
Yeah. You're talking about the prelude, not the prelude one.
Yeah, the prelude.
No. The new one after New Blood. Then there's another one.
The new one.
Oh, really? That I'll watch.
Resurrection or some shit.
That I'll watch.
Dude, that Resurrection, you're gonna fucking fanboy over and gush. Yeah.
Big surprise. He's alive again.
Yeah.
I love Dexter. I was just like, they always fuck stuff up when they do remakes or
No. So we literally just gave you a gift.
Okay,
You're gonna watch Resurrection and you're gonna see
right now.
all these serial killers and you're gonna be like, is this heaven?
Okay.
I want to be in this club.
Serial killers.
Okay.
Let's do it.
You're gonna love
I'm
it. It's so good.
Check it out.
Me and Spence were like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they actually did pretty good.
It's very
They
good.
went back to actually making fun, like good shit. And that
thank God.
has a message. Has a message. Don't murder people. You know?
Oh.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah. Classic Dexter.
Timeless.
Dexter's a vigilante, so he is pro-murder.
He's pro-murder, but bad people.
Purpose.
Yeah.
You know?
Murder with a purpose. Like
And what's
Dr.
great-
Hodgkin.
Yeah.
Should murder with a purpose.
Yeah.
2030.
Stiletto only. You know? Only the
Stiletto.
red bottoms. Only the red bottoms. But yeah, no, great. And then they also get into like his like relationship with his son and expectations that Dexter put on him in the previous season that he doesn't want to have in this season.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. And then they bring back people from the original show too. From like what's his face? The detective he was cool with, the Cuban guy. I can't remember his
Oh, yeah. What's his name?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and they even have Masuko in there.
Yep.
So for a brief time, but still.
Yep.
All right. As we're wrapping up, plug time. Dr. Lena Haji, you probably want to plug your 8 shows.
Your
out on
8
Amazon.
shows?
I wish it was.
I'm on this one.
I like all the
No, this is really bad. There's 2 that I don't know the name of and I don't know where they are. And I haven't bothered to ask to find out because I'm that lazy sometimes. But I'm on 3 seasons of World's Most Evil Prisoners. That's on Amazon Prime. And then also on Amazon Prime is Faces of Evil. And yeah. And my IG is Rise Psychological Services. My website is risepsychological.com. I deleted my YouTube because that entailed work. And that's it.
There you go.
Fair.
Girl, you're just trying to live, so I don't know if you got plugs.
Yeah, Dr. Mac.
Dr. Mac, don't plug
Plugging
nothing.
life.
You don't need no more work. You don't
I
say nothing.
know. Go, man.
No
go.
plugs. No plugs.
You know what? Yes, you can follow me, Revealing the Ivory Tower podcast. I am going through an identity crisis this year in terms of how I want to show up, and I'm still figuring that out. But I assume that once I resolve that, there might be a rebranding situation, but I will still be here. It needs to feel congruent. I hate using the word rebranding, but to match how I feel. But yeah, so I'm on there mostly on Thursdays. And yeah, that's probably it. This is the only time I'm on there.
Yeah, but her podcast is awesome too. She's just not
Old
doing it
episodes.
right. Like,
I'm gonna revamp it. It's just
Okay, but-
very saturated.
No, it's Revealing the Ivory Tower podcast. Thank you.
Okay. There's a plug. You can go back and look at it. No new stuff right now. Girl, we just trying to fix our feet. I got it.
It's good. It's really good.
Just
Gotta get those feet fixed.
Just trying to fix them feet.
Why is everybody's feet fucked up? What's happening in the world? Stop, get off of them.
Get off of them. Let's see that or send me photos. So
Ugh. Not a foot guy. Anywho, thanks for like a bear. Thanks both of you for joining us today. We really appreciate it. It's one of those deals, come back anytime.
Hell yeah.
Come back anytime.
Yes.
Anytime.
Always a great conversation and a long one. We like to have our long conversations here.
This is the longest conversation I've had with a woman in like 20 years. So
Women.
Holy shit. Am I not gay? No, I'm gay.
Let's not go. Let's not go that far. You get back in your closet.
Yes, sir.
All right. With that, I'm Spencer. That's Nas. Different Special Podcast.
All right, everyone. Much love. And remember, take care of yourself.
Or don't.
That's completely up to you, homies. Peace.
Bye.